the Oil and Gas Trainers Association of Nigeria. This is the body, independent body that goes training of oil and gas, people in the oil and gas sector. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an avenue to link up, this is an avenue to connect with the IOCs, the LOCs, and of course the stakeholders in the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here at the Oriental Hotel, Lagos, and this is the National Award for the Oil and Gas Trainers Association of Nigeria. Of course, this is an avenue for everyone here to connect, to link up, and to make, of course, have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Femi Temadi, and of course, I'll be holding down on the red carpet here at the National Award 2023 for OGTAN. I told you I was speaking with the shareholders and of course the creme de la creme of the oil and gas industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Jide Adebole. I'm General Manager at the Petroleum Technology Development Fund. I'm here to represent the Executive Secretary of Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Dr. Bello Aleyolupuso, and to receive the award that the OGTAN has deemed fit in their wisdom to present to PTDF as one of the leading training public institution in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria.
Welcome, sir. It's an honor to be speaking with you, sir. What are your expectations for the event today?
Yes, OGTAN is an important arm of the industry, as you know, because the human capital development is key to all the progress we are envisaging in the industry, particularly post PIA, and because of Petroleum Industry Act, a lot of training opportunity will abound for those that are already in the industry and those that will come in there about full commercialization and privatization, which is the main objective of the PIA. And so the position of OGTAN, being the body of trainers in the oil and gas industry, cannot be overemphasized, and their activities, what they are contributing to the industry, it's very tremendous. So my expectation here is that it will be a successful event and it will be good for networking. While we at the Petroleum Technology Development Fund are a government agency, they are in private sector. We are looking forward to partnering with them to enhance human capital development in the industry as a whole. Thank you.
Welcome to the red carpet, sir.
Thank you very much.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Awardees, and I'm here on behalf of the World Federation of Africa. Thank you.
All right, it's the National Award 2023 for OGTAN. What are your expectations?
If there's one beautiful thing that I can talk about OGTAN is that OGTAN has been consistent. They've been able to demonstrate consistency in terms of content. I've seen the list of the awardees for this year, and I can boldly affirm that from Simbi to Nick, these are individuals that have dug deep to actually make impact, and they actually merit the awards. It's not just a political thing. And I'm happy to be here to identify with them. These individuals are also not just involved in contributing to national human capacity development, they are also involved at the continental level. And that is the basis why I am here representing the World Federation of Africa. Thank you very much.
I do hope you enjoy your event and see you later.
As people, great personalities, distinguished believers in the dream, not the place, the dream called Nigeria, the beautiful atmosphere called Nigeria, and the heart called Nigeria. I would like us to do the most amazing prayer in the realms of this country, that is the national anthem, particularly the second stanza. To do that, I crave your indulgence. Please rise like the royalties that you are, and let us have this beautiful prayer, national prayer together. In a time like this, where a lot of things are going funny, one of the things that we can do is to pray. And the second stanza is that prayer. DJ, let's do this together. God of creation, direct and noble cause, guide our leaders right, help use the truth to know. In love and wholeness, see to grow and live in just and true, yeah. Great lofty heights attain to view our nation where peace and justice shall reign. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for yourselves. Celebrate Nigeria. Celebrate Nigeria. You are not celebrating Nigeria as if you believe in your celebration. Celebrate Nigeria. I want to officially say welcome to OGTAN National Awards 2023, happening on a beautiful Monday, February 13th, Oriental Hotel, VI, Lagos, the Center of Excellence and Aquatic Splendor. We decided to use the Center of Excellence because I'm seeing people that are men and women of excellence. We decided to use a hotel as epic as this because I am seeing people who have been engaged in epic victories, personalities that have been renowned for epic heights, productivity, and achievement. It's a good thing to have all of us here. My name is Martin Martins the Extratainer. It's an honor, a privilege to be moderating, anchoring this event in front of amazing kings and queens like you. For that reason, I would like you to celebrate yourselves one more time. At this point in time, I'd like to recognize the presence of distinguished personalities, and I will do this in this particular order. Everybody seated here is a wonderful, honorable person, but for the reason of functionality, these names I will recognize. I would like us to recognize the presence of course, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then, of course, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor, Lagos State. His Excellency Timi Silver, Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum Resources. Of course, our lovable Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Engineer Simbi Kesiye Wabote. Then, of course, the ever-jovial, humble, and energetic President of OGTAN, no other person but Mazi Sam Azuka Onyechi. I celebrate you, sir. It's an honor to have you. Thank you so much. I also see it as in place to recognize the presence of the Board of Trustees. And I will start with the Chairman Board of Trustees, OGTAN, Dr. Mayowa Afe. Please celebrate. The BOT members, Michelle Branco Ayegbusi, Prof. Joel Gbonna, Mrs. Wono Adetayo, and Pastor Ayo Otuyalo. Of course, Mrs. Anita Omoile. Please celebrate them. Those are the members of the board. Yes, we have an amazing list of great persons who joined us today. It's an honor to have them, and we are so glad that they are with us. Our special guest of honor and chairperson, NPC Board, Senator Magri Okadigbo, ably represented by Dr. Mrs. Lami O. Ahmed, a board member, NNPC. Please celebrate. Please celebrate. Thank you very much, ma, for coming. The Executive Secretary, NCDMB Engineer Simbi Kesiye Wabote, will recognize him. He's joining us real soon, by the special grace of God. Of course, our guest of honor, Engineer Ernest Chu Mwakba Obuagu Oguta. Please celebrate in grand style. Celebrate, sir. A custodian of the great culture of our land. Will celebrate you in that light. Of course, we'll celebrate the presence of the Executive Secretary, PTDF, Dr. Bello Aliyu Goso, ably represented by the GM Strategic Planning and Documentation, Mr. Jide Adebulain. Mr. Jide Adebulain, thank you so much for coming. The Executive Secretary, NBTE, Professor Idris M. Bugaje, ably represented by the Director in Charge, Southeast Zonal Office, Engineer Ngozi M. Okelekwe. Please celebrate. Thank you so much. Lolo, Keotide. Yes. Yes, I see you are looking ever young. The Managing Director, SNAPCO, Engineer Elo Iboni, ably represented by Ike Norham, Business Opportunity Manager, Bonga. Please celebrate. Celebrate. Thank you so much for being here. The GM, Nigerian Content Ventures and Regulatory Affairs, Chevron Nigeria Limited, Mrs. Edwina Kentebe Oluwakayode. Please celebrate. The GM NCD Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, Dr. Richard Orianzi. Thank you for coming. The Chairman Petan, Mr. Nicholas Odinowe. Please celebrate as well. NCDMB Management, thank you. The first board managed chairman and inaugural chairman of OGTAN, Prof. Mike Onyeko. Professor Mike, is he seated already? Oh, please to celebrate you, sir. Thank you so much. Very humble man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have as well, okay, Chairman Board of OGTAN, Dr. Mayowa Affair, I called that earlier. I believe he will join us in good time. Mrs. Wunola Adetayo, distinguished OGTAN board member, thank you so much for being here with us. The Welding Federation TWF Africa Executive Director, Engineer Ayo Adeniyi. Professor Joel Ogbonna, distinguished OGTAN member, board member as well, thank you so much. Then of course I need to recognize the presence of the OGTAN Royal Father, His Royal Majesty Igwe Charles Egbo Nwoye, Obioha II of Amuri Kingdom, Chairman Opians Nigeria Limited. We celebrate you, sir. We celebrate you. Thank you so much. I would also like to recognize the presence of our distinguished sponsors. An event is half successful if the sponsors, the supporters, are not there to power functionality in that event. It might be financially, it might be otherwise, but we always want to celebrate these people. Dorman Long Engineering Limited, thank you so much. Thank you. Please put your hands together for them. JCI International Limited, put your hands together for them. Joe Marine Institute of Nautical Studies and Research, thank you so much. Then our media partners, NCDMB Media Team, amazing, thank you. I saw one of them earlier in their amazing outfits. Then Major Waves Energy Limited, please put your hands together for them. Thank you for being a part of this. These are people who have to ensure that what we do here is taken to the rest of the world. So we need to continually appreciate their presence. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to move on, I would like us to have something very important. Someone who will come here and officially tell us this is why we are gathered. This is the reason behind the reason that we are gathered, and to officially tell us that we are welcome to this place. To offer us the welcome address, I'd like to make welcome the chairman of the award committee, the National Awards 2023 OGTAN Committee. I'm talking about no other person but a highly esteemed Afolabi Davison. Please celebrate. A man of great character and competence. His voice is so sweet. I like to hear you talk.
Thank you very much, MCI. Appreciate that warm welcome. To everyone seated here, welcome to this wonderful occasion. My name is Afolabi Davidson, the Vice President of OGTAN, and it is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to this occasion of the first OGTAN National Awards ceremony. Many of you have made a huge effort to join us today. And on behalf of the entire OGTAN membership, we are deeply appreciative and offer you our most grateful welcome. I look around in the room and I'm in awe of the collective distinguished experience and expertise gathered here. We are deeply honored to welcome you, and it reminds me of the saying that the wealth of a nation does not lie in its resources, but in its people. I'd like to add to that saying that it is not just the people, but those who have the capacity to make a difference and build others to do the same. According to several studies, human capital is a critical source of economic growth, as it is a principal contributor to a tangible increase in productivity and technological advancement. The major difference between the developed and developing countries is the rate of progress in human capital. Professor Galbraith of Alcaton said, "We now get a larger part of economic growth from investment in men and improvements brought about by improved men." Now, to put it in clear terms, human capital development is the major source of economic growth in any nation. And it is also a basic imperative that both human capital development and economic development are closely linked. We are here today to celebrate some individuals and organizations who have evidently and objectively made a major impact in human capital development or carried out research towards human capital development in the oil and gas industry, and also directly or indirectly aided in the actualization of the OGTAN goals for skills development and training of Nigerians with a view to domesticate and domicile oil industry skills in country. That goal is as pertinent today as it was when OGTAN was established in 2009 by NCDMB. Engineer Nwakpa being the major driver of that establishment. It is a goal I know we all share. As an association, OGTAN will be recognizing the awardees in various areas of human capital development achievement in hopes that they will continue their good works for the benefit of the nation and perhaps encourage others to do the same. I want to ask you to prepare to be challenged, excited, and inspired as the awardees' citations are read in the course of this event. Before that, though, we will hear from several people with their goodwill messages. We would hear a presentation of an initiative of OGTAN called OIP. And I want to say once more, on behalf of OGTAN and the National Awards Organizing Committee, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please a round of applause for that sweet voice. Sometimes I greet him so that he will reply, so I will just hear the voice. Thank you so much, sir. He said something that is remarkable, and I think that summarizes the goal of human capital development. He said, improvement by improved men. Amazing, amazing. This is part of the reason why people like Plato said that man shall not see better days until those that are philosophically inclined acquire political control. Plato was a student of Socrates and a teacher of Aristotle. You will clap at this point. Okay, so I want to say again, thank you for coming. Thank you for having me, and you are welcome. My name is Steve Martins, the Extra-tainer. At this point in time, I would like for us to have some goodwill messages. It's important that we hear from stakeholders as to this award. Engineer Nwakpa, I want to specially congratulate and appreciate you. I just heard an information now that you were one of those that majorly pioneered the establishment of the organization. Please, a round of applause for that great man. We celebrate you. We celebrate you. You know, when he came earlier, I looked at his heart. I didn't know why. But now when I see his heart, I see that he's a man that has a heart for the industry. Sir, your heart is in the right place. Please celebrate them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to have goodwill messages. I will have a number of people I will particularly call for the goodwill messages. Then I will take maybe 2 or 3 other persons from the audience who would voluntarily give their goodwill messages. So I would like first class, or I need somebody, Mr. Femi or so. Somebody should just help me. Maybe one of the ushers can do that. Mr. Femi is very busy. I need one of the ushers. You help me with the microphone. So we'll take it down to our guests for the goodwill message. Okay, give it to first class. Yes, thank you very much. So we'd like to have our first goodwill message from, Dr. Mrs. Lami O. Please take the microphone. Take the microphone to her. Let's hear a goodwill message as a key stakeholder in the. You want to come? Okay. I didn't want to stress people that have oil of gladness on their head, but it's okay. You know, in the oil and gas industry, everybody has their oil of gladness. Easy. Okay? So you have options of using my podium or that anyone you want. You use it. Very good. Please, should I hold the mic for you or you will hold it? No, that's what they paid me for, actually. I'm the mic holder. Okay, all right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Permit me to stand by the protocol that has been established by the MC. As you see me standing, my name might be called Lami Ahmed, but I'm representing my chairman, the chairman of NNPC, Nigeria Limited. She had agreed to be here and she contacted the president, but unfortunately she could not make it. So I have to be here on her behalf. So I'm representing Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo. Thank you. Please clap for her. I will deliver it. My goodwill message will be very short. I looked through the mission of OGTAN. It says to organize, standardize, and render quality training services with a view to give required impetus towards realization of the local human capital development mandates of the NOGICD Act 2010 in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. This is very clear and is very important. If we must move forward as a nation, and if we must struggle that we have active participation of our people in the industry, it's very important that we train men and women who will have the capacity to occupy the roles that used to be occupied by the foreigners before. And that is why this OGTAN is very important. Going forward, it is important to know that there's no end to training. And we must train and train to retrain until we have people that can occupy these spaces. My advice, I listened to a group of young men the other time, I think when I traveled. And one of the concerns they have is that when you talk about things in the oil and gas industry, the world is becoming so global and technology is taking several spaces. I want to advise that we not just limit this training to those who are already in the industry, but we must be concerned about the training that is going on in the universities. There are so many graduates that may not have been exposed to what is going on. And when they graduate, they also say they are trained to partake in the industry. Things are changing. So many things that used to be done by human before, several days in the forest, can be done in maybe a few hours. So I want to plead that this training should not be limited to those who are already in the industry. Because those who are coming are going to take over from those who are in the industry. And they want to partake. So let us be concerned as well to check the universities that are training our children, our youth, to participate in oil and gas industry. Thank you very much.
One more time, a round of applause, please. A round of applause, a round of applause. Thank you so much. You have said it all. Gone are the days where men have to do jobs for a long time. Now machines can take over. With the current situation of the new Naira note now, I was thinking that we're going back to trade and barter. Trade by barter. I was not telling my friend, bring generator, let me bring fuel. God will not take us back to that. No, that state of life is not where we are going at all. But we're having progress into a cashless economy. I don't know if you have heard, the governor of the CBN, he said that so far they've been able to recover over 70% of the about 5 trillion in the economy, and 70% of the about 3 trillion naira that is not within the realms of the bank but outside the bank in the houses of people. So progress is being reached. However, we're still trying to see how they would tackle the cases of some agent hoarding the funds and all. Better days. Somebody tell your neighbor, say better days for Nigeria. Better days for Nigeria. Okay, still on the goodwill message, we still have stakeholders to call up. I would like to make welcome Professor Mike Obi. Professor Mike Obi, please come for a goodwill message. Please celebrate this young man. Celebrate this young man. Welcome, sir. Sir, jump, sir. Let it not be the day that I anchored OGTAN program that you jumped. You say, MC, you allowed daddy to jump, please, sir. Let me, please. Please clap for. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I wasn't expecting you to just call me now. But now that you've called me, I will talk. Let me first of all thank the organizers of this program. I think Madam Dr. Lamid Ahmed got it right. I'm a university professor. My interest is still in the university, even though we champion this organization. I will talk about, just use an analogy. You know, during the Civil War, there was scarcity of salt. And it got to the point that our mothers were, if you want to eat, they would put your own salt in your palm like that. And if you have yam, you touch the salt before you eat. Eventually, they didn't know that we were wasting the salt. It would have been better to train the students, because that's the source. If you go to the university and train them, you are going to get much, much better results. That's what she said. Now, let me start my talk again, and I'm very glad that Ernest is here. The last time I said, if the first child didn't work, it will be a concern to the family. I want to use this opportunity to thank Ernest. You people may not know what he did, but he did a fantastic foundation on which Simbi has built on. Simbo has done well, but if we didn't have that foundation, it wouldn't have been right. I want to use this opportunity to thank those who served on the board with me. I can still see them. I'm very happy that I recognize people like Mrs. Adeto here, Professor Joel is here. I'm surprised that Afolabi and all of them. I'm surprised that Michelle is not here. I don't want to say we labored, but we tried our best to live a better OGTAN than we met it. I want to thank a lot of MDs that are here. I must say that this organization is important to us, and let us continue to build it. Of all the things that we need in this industry, I still consider the human capacity development as number one. Once you have well-trained human beings, they will get the money, they will get the technology, and things will work. Let us not think that, I have my own views, very strong views about training. The NCDB and the MB, they say, oh, we'll train you if you have a job and have a space. As a university professor, I don't believe that. I believe in training everybody, the intelligent ones, particularly the intelligent ones. If you train them very well, they'll find a way. I cannot believe that even after 70 years, I've retired last year from university, and I'm beginning to go and learn fundamental things about business. That was what I was doing outside there. Madam is saw me. And there are many things they are teaching me that I didn't know. I wish I knew that 33 years ago. I started laser 33 years ago. Laser would have been much better than it is. What I'm saying is that that knowledge transfer, that knowledge acquisition will never stop. Let me particularly thank this group. Sam, I'm very happy that I'm honored. For me, I don't do much traveling anymore. It's because of this I came, and after that I'll take the advantage to go for another conference in Lagos. But for you to recognize me, I'm very happy. For that, I will pray that you continue to work well with your team. We have just started. I don't know what you think about your journey. We just have started. You have not done anything. You have just started. My prayer is that God will continue to move you and your team so that until we introduce all that we need to introduce in this industry and make Nigerians take the pride of place in running the affairs of this oil and gas industry. May God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, a round of applause. Lots of professors in the house. Okay, talking about the university system, it is worthy of note and addition to say that our highly esteemed Dr. Ernest Chunwakba is the Pro-Chancellor of Imo State University. Please, a round of applause. Celebrate, celebrate. We had to add that. Very important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much as well, Professor Michael Bio Onyekon, for that wonderful addition. I would like us to have as well Frank Kudaya, the MDAETI Applied Engineering Technological Initiative. Please celebrate. Frank Kudaya, please celebrate. Celebrate. Welcome, sir. So I would most likely take two other people randomly. So if you are interested, I'll get to you. You just raise up your hand and I'll bring you up.
Good afternoon, or good morning, it's afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francis Kudaya. I am Chairman, Applied Engineering Technology Initiative Limited. My company has worked with and benefited from being a member of OGTAN right from inception. OGTAN has made great contributions to skill development in the oil and gas industry over the years, and this has been made possible by OGTAN member companies as well as the national supporting institutions, NMPC, NCDMB, PTDF, MBT, and of course the oil and gas industry. It is therefore appropriate that OGTAN should recognize and thank all those that have made these achievements possible. I congratulate all awardees and wish them and OGTAN very well. Thank you very much.
Make that applause better. You can do better than that. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so I'm going to take from the audience, from every other person. We can have two persons. You want to offer a goodwill message? Okay. Let me get to you, sir. Okay, so redirection sakes, we're not going to have Dr. Nwakwa to close. We'll have him to take before we go straight to the bigger house. So please, let's have Dr. Nwakwa to officially do a goodwill message. Please a round of applause for. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. That's our highly esteemed Dr. Ernest Chu Mwagba.
Okay, distinguished participants, I'm very happy to be here. As many of you would know, anything to do with capacity development is part of what I feed on. That's what I fed on as a student. That's what I fed on as a young professional employee in the NMPC. That's what I fed on as a project engineer. I like to see the growth of people. I like to see attainment of knowledge. So I thank everybody here. I stay happy. It's almost 8 years since I left the industry, in quote. But thankfully, I go to places in the industry and all I get is acknowledgement for the little things that we did together in the industry to change a few of the things that we met. So when Professor Onyekon was saying that he left OGTAN better than he met it, I was wondering what he met. He didn't meet anything. They created OGTAN. So it's his successors that will be talking about living better what they met. Now, when we started the whole local content journey, we had a dream. And you know the best thing that happens to you is when your dreams come true in your lifetime. This is one amazing thing. Most of the things we experimented with came to fruition. And OGTAN is one of those things. We looked around and the training was something that departments in companies were handling, and Shell will do training in one way, Chevron will do it in one way, NNPC will do it in one way. The smaller companies did not even see the need for training. And we thought it was important to start something that will galvanize our people towards a focal point around capacity development. Now, we modeled after two strong units. One was PETAN, because we saw PETAN as something that started small, and just with serious focus and the support that we started giving PETAN, they demonstrated to the industry and to the world that Nigerians can actually do big things. We didn't see why we couldn't do the same thing with OGTAN. We had an OGTAN. We had so many things we started like this, but I'll tell you the truth. OGTAN grew out of nothing. Nothing. I was just talking to my PTDF colleague, Jide, that PETAN people have big contracts. They have big support systems. The guys in OGTAN, they run around and all they can get is crumbs. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to see how we can increase these crumbs. And if you give your child small money and he starts a business and grows it, you should go and put more money in there. OGTAN is one of the places where we should actually, as an industry, look into. Now, it was announced that I'm the Pro-Chancellor of Imo State University. When I left office, the first governor that met me wanted me to come and support his government in one or two ways. I told them that I'd finished that type of public service, that I want to go to the village and try to grow the youths in my village, to train them in certain ways. And then the second governor came and said the same thing. And I responded in the same manner. I was gravitating towards universities. So when the Emerald Energy Institute in the University of Port Harcourt called me to be a lecturer on local content and policy and energy policy, I accepted that without pay. And I do that every year. Because that's the most important aspect of our lives, to impart training, to tell other people what you know. And then that way, you generally start growing. So as Pro-Chancellor in Imo State University, I've sat in the council. I hear all sorts of very, very demoralizing things. Education can't get funding. When they get funding, it's never enough. The things that government tries to do to fund education, they get used for other things. So as an industry, I have always believed, and that was why when we were asked about the local content policy in the National Assembly, why not put it for the whole economy at once? We said, no, let us do it in the industry, show that it can work in this industry, then we start spreading it. And that's the strategy that this OGTAN must adopt. Let us, as this serious industry, grab OGTAN, take them to the level where they begin to represent a hub of competence, a hub of excellence that other sectors can come to for modeling. And my advice to the leadership, which I must very sincerely congratulate. It's not easy in Nigeria to have leadership, translate, and transit to another leadership, and transit to another leadership without breaking down. But OGTAN has done it very successfully. And that makes me happy. So I tell Simbi sometimes when he cracks jokes with my feathers, I say, Simbi, what you're doing, every day I go home, I bring out one of my feathers, I wash it, and keep it in reserve for you. After a few more years, when you've finished, I will give you a hat with 2 feathers. By that time, I will be looking for my 3rd feather. So, please, OGTAN, grab onto the left leg of Simbi. He cares about these things. Simbi has the culture, he has the needs, and he knows how to do it. Grab onto his legs. Don't let him kick it away. Hold on to it. Grab onto Jide's legs too, PTDF. OGTAN would not have gone as far without PTDF support. We all know that. With these 2 gentlemen, and when I say Jide and Simbi, they are representing institutions. So these institutions are the people we need to hold on to. They would help grab the patterns of this world, the NMPs of this world, the IOCs. We need them first before we begin to go out to individual companies. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all of us very useful deliberations. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. You are not clapping as if you are clapping for somebody with 2 feathers on the heart. Yes. And now I understand more about our doctor. You accepted a job to lecture without pay? Wow. Automatically you have become a philanthropist. But I tell people, even if you don't pay school fees, you must still pay. You will pay attention. So those students have to pay attention because they value what is being offered. Thank you so much, sir, for having the youths at heart instead of other gains like political gains. We celebrate you. So I was going to throw it open to everybody. Okay, sir, please come. Please come. Please celebrate. I would like you to come up and... So I'm going to take one more after him. One more person to do a goodwill message. Then, of course, after that, we should get set for the OGTAN Young Professionals Platform presentation by Oluchi Okafor.
Thank you very much. I want to stay on the existing protocol. Actually, I'm motivated to come and speak. I haven't listened to my senior colleague, Engineer Ns Mwapa, talking. I want to congratulate the executive of OGTAN. And one thing that really touched me when Engineer Mwapa was talking is about the fact that OGTAN activities should be better coordinated. And I want to assure you that the Petroleum Technology Development Fund will be more active in the things you do. Because the truth is, the things you participate in are very easy to package by responsible government agencies that are in charge, like PTDF. None of you should be out of job because the training needs in the industry is very, very big, particularly post-PIA. A lot of training will be involved in that. And PTDF stands an advantage because we're equally the secretariat of the implementation committee. I can assure you that none of you will be out of job as far as you know your onions. And on behalf of my CEO, Dr. Bello Aliyoguso, I want to say that going forward, the things that OGTAN members will do that will enhance the development in the industry, you can always come to PTDF. We'll sit down together from the scratch, we plan it, we moderate it, then you can go to the relevant agencies and impact the training. A lot of you are ex-industry people. I can see Chris there and several other people. And like Engineer Wap, I have to congratulate Engineer Wapa too for what he did at NCDMB. He has done very well. He did very well in Shell. He did very well in NCDMB. It's only one area that is not performing too well. That is in Gulf, because he's just struggling. And I hope that with time he will improve. So going forward, for Petroleum Technology Development Fund, which is actually the agency that OGTAN people should be dealing with all the time, we will do better and will enhance your business, will enhance capacity building in the industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. By the way, I'm an amazing golf player online. Online. I play it online. Okay, madam, please come. Please come. Class, are you ready? Class. Please a round of applause for her.
Good afternoon, everybody. I feel very, very honored to be here. I'm supposed to start by telling you that my ES, Professor Idris Bugaji, who is going to be an awardee today, wanted to be here, but he's out of the country. I thank God for this opportunity. I heard people talking about training, standard, and regulations, and the mandate of OGTAN. And I want to say that that is what made him to come here, to ask us to be here. Actually, we have been trying to get across to the oil and gas sector. And having this opportunity is a very big thing for us. OGTAN has been dealing with us. We have been with them in meetings. And talking about standards, we actually have some standards we are working on with them. Because as we are talking about local content, based on the NCDMB mandate, we said our local content must have international best practices. According to the OGTAN president, that has been his language. He must have international best practices. So we have some. We're already working with them on geoscientists, coded welders, instrument engineers, divers, 3D modelers. And we are hoping that we'll have funds to have that. And most importantly, we said that the last speaker that talked about regulatory bodies when it comes to standard, we looked at having a awarding body for this oil and gas sector, for the training we have. And then OGTAN came to our mind. We have been trying to get across to NCDMB, but they told us that it's better working with OGTAN since they're already doing it to training. So we are talking with the president, and he has given us some line up, and that's part of what brought us here, that they serve a better purpose for awarding body. And not just awarding body, we have what we call sector skill councils, because the first speaker that talked about having skilled workers, both in the industries, in non-formal sector, in universities, in polytechnic, we are doing what we call national skill qualification, which comes under Nigerian skill qualification framework, still talking about local content, which must have international best practices. So we said that people from industry must tell us what they need. And we are hoping that OGTAN is the best place to tell us, bring the sector skill council together. What are sector skill council? People from industries, professional bodies, universities coming together and telling us in their sector this is what they need. So OGTAN, we are counting on you that, as many speakers have said here, that you know them more than us. You bring them together so that we'll be able to see that in oil and gas sector, that we have people that will be telling the country what they need. And then coming together, we'll now bring that standard to table, whereby with the awarding body, which we hope that you fit into, we are going to work out standard for oil and gas sector. And then, when you talk about this skill qualification, we have what we call assessors, internal verifiers, and all that. We're already talking with you, and we hope that it will come to fruition, so that we'll have people that are doing the training, that are doing the assessment, that are doing the work. There are different people that does all that, but we are in the picture, and I hope that this our meeting here and afterwards will help us out, because we need to get into the oil and gas sector. We don't have anything there right now. PTI tried to do something, but then maybe because of funding we have not reached that, but we are hopeful that we come to free. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause. Okay, at this point in time, I would like to make welcome this young man, dynamic, energetic, and he's got great content in the realms of humor. Please join me as I make welcome one who is going to lighten up the atmosphere even as we get ready for other things like the presentation by Ms. Oluchi Okafor, and of course other presentations to our Tefele Belewa. Let's have comedian first class. Please a round of applause. Turn on the mic. Okay, take mine.
One, two. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mona Ansana. Good afternoon. My mouth is shake. I'm not used to this AC. That place where I sit down. Thank God you called me over. I take move body. If I stay there now 30 minutes, when I go just here say something fall, break like block. Na me. So good afternoon one more. My name is First Class. Please a round of applause for yourself. I don't know if you guys were following the event from the starting. The MC actually said something about the cost of living that wants to kill the living in Nigeria right now. I don't know if you guys remembered when he said something like that. You know, when he made that joke, he was actually referring to me. It's as if the thing what they go through now, he is aware. Problem where he did my head then. Yesterday for all show, the now I see book 50 ways to solve your problem. I buy 2. Problem too much. I know most of you be wondering why or how I got the name First Class, or maybe it does not relate academically rather. So you know, back then in secondary school, I say make I share my experience with you guys. Back then in secondary school, if they tell me say I go even day here, they follow people like when I talk, I don't believe. Even before stand-up comedy, I actually have something I wanted to do before, which is music. I wanted to be an artist. I so much love musicians, the likes of Wizkid and the rest. They really inspired me. So I started singing. I started singing. I recorded one track. The song went viral around that kind 2018. Please, I don't know, did you guys hear the song where I sing? Anybody, you hear my song? You did not hear the song, have you? That was how the song went viral. Nobody heard the song. The song is still on YouTube till now. 3 views in 6 years. The 3 views that my junior brothers now watch and just to encourage me. I actually sang one song. The song went viral. I played the song for my house. My daddy was not pleased, but my mom, mothers always support their children. My dad heard the song, he went to the room. My mom heard the song, she just not heard, she went to the room. For midnight, around 2 o'clock, now I come see when my papa wake my mama, come they discuss with my mama. Come begin to tell my mama, say she ain't just hear the song where I release now. Say the song, say the song no gree and sleep, oh. Say after listening to the song, when he was sleeping, say begin get bad dream. My mama come they encourage my papa, say make him give me small chance. And I say this is my first attempt. Say let them give me small chance that the more I'll be doing it, the more I'm going to get the experience. So I went and recorded another one again. I brought it home again. My daddy heard the song. My daddy carry phone, call people for village. Begin complain saying, Pikin, don't they mislead. My mom also called me. She can't sit me down. She was not advising me that apart from music, what else do you want to do with your life? I thought I wanted to sing music. She said the music is not paving way. I said, okay. So I carried the song. I went to a lounge. The MC there is my friend, just like the way this MC is also is my friend. I went to the lounge, I gave the song to the MC. I told the MC, I beg, help me play this song. But not tell anybody, say, who sing this song day. Just help me play and me, I go sit down, then I go listen and see the reaction of people. When the MC played the song, the MC kept playing it. He was trying to encourage me. He played. All of a sudden, one guy who no, just come meet me, come tap me for shoulder, say, Chama, no verse. I say, hey, he said, I beg, you know who sing this Mumu song? Even me wasting the song, I denied the song. I tell you guys I don't know. I'm telling you. I had inspiration. I did not want to give up. Oh. I had another motivation. I go write another song, carry and go another studio. I begin play. The producer hear the song finish. He carry me come outside. Come begin advise me. He say, no verse. So say, no be sad they try to discourage you, but sure you know say enough gain there Okada business. So the producer was advising me to leave music and be riding Okada. That was how my music career died off. I been more than clap for me. That testimony I share. If I had known all those years, I would have been doing stand-up. Stand-up is paving way. Telling you. So back then in secondary school, that day as you see me like this, back then for secondary, I don't know anything. No. I don't know. Even for exam time, even when they open book for me, make I copy, and they copy both the person name. I'm telling you, they don't know me for school. They don't know me. Even when we write exam results come out, we did 45 for school, and they carry 47. And they carry 47. My mom was even angry. She followed me to the school. She told the principal that, how come there are 45 students in the school? My child is carrying 47. The principal said 2 students whenever come, they already pass me. So, I did not care. I was living like that. Even when they ask questions for school, even if I carry my hand up, they know they ask me. There's even one time biology teacher just came out and she asked question. I raised my hand. She said, no, you don't worry. Just be doing your thing. You're not part of the class. And I was paying school fees. So the most painful one be say, I've already accepted my fate, no matter that, okay, fine, I know Sabi book. So one day like this, the owner of the school came and he said that there's something he sees in me. I was not looking at him that, what did you see in me that I did not see in myself? He said, you have the ability to go far. I said, I know. So one day I heard that our school wanted to do debate with another school. Though we already know, I was not bothered because I know say my name no day I cannot represent. So we're already looking at the smartest child in the school. Now they go put me go represent the school. I know back then in secondary school there's this board they used to put where student name you go and check your name. So during the break time now everybody was going there to check their name. I went there to check my name. All of a sudden I saw my name there. They said me I will go represent them for debate from another school. I had to call 1 or 2 guys. Say maybe they come. Maybe let me check this thing whether my name they there true. They tell me say my name. Oh. And you know one thing is that students when don't know anything, they always mix with students when don't know anything. And those ones when don't know anything, God they motivate me say, that's small thing now. You go feed duam. They don't sabi duam. On the day of the debate, come and see other school students came now. All of them smartly dressed, came talking, everything shoe neat. Me, I came with my own shoe that I'm managing, my socks and my short knicker that are torn. I begin to debate. Before you know, one student just came. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable timekeeper, panel of judges. My name is this, blah, blah, blah. Where me I did, I saw they look the students. Wait till this one they talk. The English is even too much for me that is coming to represent my school. When I got there, when they called me, say, I'm representing South Foundation Nursery and Primary School, ladies and gentlemen, please round of applause for Ikechukwu Kelvinson. That's my real name. As I came out, they clap. I carried the mic. I tell them, say, ladies and gentlemen, when I just carry the award, give this to them, maybe they go. Me, I don't get anything I want to talk. Ladies and gentlemen, that's time. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Celebrate first class. The struggles of a young Nigeria. You know, in Nigeria, we struggle with a lot of things. So I anchored a birthday concert with a friend of mine from America some Saturdays ago, Lagos Oriental Hotel. I said, what are some of the challenges you face concerning traffic in your country? He said that they have a serious traffic jam. I say, how long does your traffic jam last that makes it very serious? He said, it lasts for long. I say, how long? He said, over 17 minutes. I laughed. I say, where, you know where you are? He said, yes, Lagos. I say, good. I say, in Lagos, from Oshodi to Oshodi, 2 hours, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Doctor, you understand what I'm saying? From Oshodi to Oshodi, 2 hours, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. You don't negotiate it. In Lagos, we have go slow, we have hold up, and we have something we call car park. Go slow is when it is moving slowly. Slowly, slowly. Maybe there's an obvious obstruction in front, slowly. Hold up is when the obstruction is so obvious that people cannot really move. You can stay there and buy things. You know, in Lagos traffic, you can buy mattress and go and fix in your house. If you just rent an apartment, you can buy all the things you need in your kitchen utensils. You go and drop it there. You come back, you see, meet your car. You are going home, the best place to buy food stuff cheap. You buy vegetable. You can even buy gas in traffic. I saw a guy coming back happily. He said, thank God for today traffic. Oh, I bought a car in traffic. The one we call car park is different. You know, in Aja here, you have go slow. Sometimes you have hold up. Who has heard of Iyanoba Vokes? Iyanoba Vokes. A friend of mine was studying computer science in Lasso, Pius Paul. You can go and verify. Pius Paul is his name. He was studying computer science. He had his final exam. He was coming from First Stack. He was going down to Lasso. The traffic was so heavy that from the time that Pius was supposed to get to school from First Stack to Iyanoba, that is supposed to take 15-20 minutes normally, because of traffic. When Pius Paul got to school, his colleagues were already defending their project. Ladies and gentlemen, then if you know of Apapa, have you heard of Apapa? You are supposed to know Apapa. Sir, can you drive to Apapa with your mind? You don't drive to Apapa. Even those trekking, they are in traffic. Apapa is car park. I told the guy, I said, your problem is traffic 17 hours plus. In Apapa, you can stay there for 4 days. You are still in the traffic. Nigeria is a wonderful country. In spite of this, we are still surviving. And you see people come to events and they are smiling. I don't know how Nigerians manage to still look fantastic, wonderful, look happy, things that are happening. It shows the undying spirit of a Nigeria. If you believe in the undying spirit of every Nigerian, put your hands together for yourselves as a Nigerian. Until date, I celebrate the young people for our resilience. Talking about young people, we want to have a presentation for OGTAN Young Professionals platform, and that will be handled by our highly esteemed Oluchi Okafor. A round of applause for her, please. Come this way. I'm a gentleman. I don't like women to be climbing stairs by themselves. Please come. God. Very soft palm. Thank you, Father. You blessed your daughter with beauty. Okay? Should I hold it for you or you? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to stand on all existing protocols. My name is Oluchi Okafor. I am the University Liaison Coordinator for OGTAN. I'd like to especially thank all the previous speakers because I think you made my job easy by introducing the idea of universities being a critical part of what we do here at OGTAN. I'd like to encourage everyone to please, in the next minute, could you go back, please? We all have our mobile phones. Please visit the site that you can see on there if you can. I'd like to encourage us to please do that because I think it will also help with explaining what I'm trying to talk about here today. It's www.oip.octan.org.ng. I'll give a few seconds for us to please click on that and just take a look. It's in the beta stage. For those of us in tech, you understand what I mean. We're still building, but you can take a look. And I'll go ahead to explain what it's all about. On a personal note, I'm what they call a second generation entrepreneur. What that means is that the company that I manage, which enables me be an EXCO member of OGTAN, was not founded by me. It was actually founded by my father, who is in the hall somewhere. He's the young man in the red cap just there, making a video of me. And the reason why I'm able to do that or manage a company that someone else founded 25 years ago is because of two things. I had opportunities presented to me, and I was also empowered accordingly when I needed to be empowered. I schooled in Nigeria, but I was lucky enough to go to a university that emphasized on the need for people to not just learn their course of study, but also be empowered to be entrepreneurs and to be able to do things on their own. Before I decided to run for office, first time ever, and I decided to do that with OGTAN, I intentionally did that on this particular platform. So I'm one of those rare Nigerian politicians who have actually manifested their manifesto, essentially. So I'm very proud of that. Now, the whole idea behind OIP, which is OGTAN Young Professionals, is to essentially start, just like the speakers have said, from the roots. A lot of us have interviewed young people, fresh graduates, NYSC, and we've come out with so many horror stories. Oh, they can't do this, they can't express themselves, they can't do all of that. And it's okay to complain, and it's okay to, moan about it, but what are we really doing to fix it? And that's what we're hoping to achieve here. We've done a bit, but we're talking about it here because we can't do more than we've done without your support. And with support, I mean with the stakeholders, and especially the member companies of OGTAN who are here seated. We specifically chose to do this today because we know that a lot of the decision makers in those companies are here today and will be able to assist us. And we're also hoping for support from other stakeholders as well. So we can go ahead with the presentation, please. The next slide. So there's a dire need for re-education and retraining of many Nigerian graduates today due to the lack of preparation of graduates by the universities for the world of work. I was talking to a senior friend who's a doctor, she's a cardiologist recently, and she was saying that one of the things she realizes is that being in medical school, all they teach them how to be is doctors. They don't teach them how to run hospitals. They don't teach them how to run businesses. So most of them either, Japa syndrome, they leave the country, and those of them who are even running businesses cannot sustain, and hospitals keep closing down because even simple profit and loss statements, they're unable to do. There's so much that the educational system can do for our people, yes, but there's so much more that they need to learn. And a lot of us here are where we are today, are in this room today because we empowered ourselves after graduation. We're looking for a situation where we can empower the young ones who are still in the universities. We know how difficult adult education is. A lot of us that have done courses at more mature ages, you're either sleeping off or you're getting tired. So when is the best time to actually reach people? When the brains are still young and fresh and vibrant. And that's what we're hoping to do today. Next slide, please. So the idea for the OGTAN Young Professionals platform was born. This portal aims to be a collection of students from the 300 to 500 level in Nigerian universities, as well as new graduates currently going through their compulsory year of NYSC. These students are supposed to be called from the mostly oil and gas related courses, so the engineering courses, and even other courses like, for instance, in the logistics and supply chain industry, which is actually where I currently operate. just to essentially put together a database. This is not for everyone. It's not for every student. It has to be for students who have agreed and who are willing to take the opportunities. Because like I said, I'm a product of opportunity. If the opportunities are not available or they are not visible enough, then you can't take advantage of it. So this portal is essentially supposed to act, one, as a database of those students, so that any of you who would be willing to take advantage of, or rather, let me put it this way, render your help towards those young people. You have a database of verified students, Nigerian students, who you can help to achieve their dreams and also ultimately contribute to the oil and gas industry with good hands, people who are ready to work, people who are willing to put in their best. Next slide. So what are some of the benefits of joining the OGTAN Young Professionals platform? And we're presenting this to you today so that you can also tell the young people in your life, your nieces, your children, your nephews, everybody. We're up, the site is up now, like that's why I asked people to visit it. So you can register now, but we're still going to do probably another major launch where we will now actually start going to the universities and visiting them and actually trying to engage them from that point of view. You have access to over 100 plus internship opportunities across the nation with our over 350 plus OGTAN member companies as well as other industry operators. You get to develop your requisite skill sets required to begin a career in the oil and gas industry. You join a pool of talented young professionals from different schools and different interests, but with the same passion for learning and development. Free access for selected YPs to OGTAN events. For instance, an event like this, the next one we're going to have, we would have selected young professionals from the pool who would gain free access to attend this, network, and also just, enjoy the event and learn a lot more. You also gain insight into your future career and develop a peer-to-peer network of budding professionals. Next slide. Next slide, please. So this is how you can become an OIP. Interested potential members are to visit that site, register with all their details. We're requesting even down to their student ID cards. This is intentional to be able to make sure that we're able to pinpoint actual students, because I assure you there are going to be people who are not students that would want to take advantage of this great opportunity. Unfortunately, we're limiting it to just students 300 to 500 level. That's also very strategic because it means that you're on the way out of the university. And we've also tried to extend it to NYSC as well. They will receive an automatic welcome message and they'll be ready to receive premium offers and updates from the over almost 400 member companies in the OGTAN network. Next slide. So, this is where we need the involvement of our member companies. We would need a selection of primary and fundamental courses being offered by trainers to be featured on the OYP platform. What this means is that for a lot of trainers, we have a gamut of courses that we offer, a lot of them more technical, some of them more fundamental. We would like to start as early as possible with the most basic courses that you have and certifications that you have. Please send us an email, I'll give all the details later, with the courses that you have that you're willing to feature on the site. When we have that information, we can put it on the site so that immediately a student registers, they get a view of what the courses available to them are, and also specifically the discounts. We would like to request for a discount of minimum of 20% on the prices of those courses. So for instance, if you currently offer a course of 20,000 naira, I would like to ask that you can give it to our students for 16,000 naira. I think that it's only fair that it become that's the minimum benchmark, because anything higher than that, the whole idea is that students are not the most buoyant, are not the richest. So if I'm going to go and meet my mother for anything that is not my school fees, it can't be anything that is too expensive. Internship opportunities. A lot of us as training companies, we also need interns. We need people that are more tech savvy than us. With the advent of COVID, a lot of us have had to go to online learning. Some of us don't know how to. These are the guys that are going to teach you how to do it. So while I don't want to call it cheap or free labor, it's actually a way to actually also empower the students and give them a working opportunity for them to add to their CVs and also improve themselves. Again, promotion of the platform amongst your personal friends. We'll be sending a lot more information about the platform moving forward. This is more like an informational session just to let you know that we are doing something. we do recognize the need to do something, and OGTAN is not doing nothing. I'll just use this opportunity to also thank my ESCO members who have been incredibly supportive of this. Everything you're seeing here that has been done with OGTAN funds. No extra money, no external anything. Please put your hands together for the ESCO of OGTAN for supporting this. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so please, for the process of doing this, you need to send your requests, your cost lists, your discounts, and any other interest that you may have with the address line of OIP and insert your topic, and send that to info@ogtan.org.ng. Now, this is not just for member companies. This is also for any representatives of the IOCs who are willing to partner with us on this. There's a lot of work to be done, but with a lot of work, it also requires a lot of support, a lot of finances. If we plan to go to the universities in all 36 states of the Federation, we're not going to disappear and appear there like witches and wizards. We need to transport ourselves, we need to move ourselves, we need to pay for a lot of logistics, and we will need your help. Any assistance at all that you're willing to provide to us, please, we would appreciate it. Next slide. So we're open to support from relevant private stakeholders and government para-state house to partner with us for offers of scholarships and internships for identified YPs with excelling qualities. We're also asking some of the young professionals for their, grade point average, to be able to enable us to discern who is doing really well and who are the ones that we should really look out for. We'd also like member companies to feel free to take on additional participants for courses. If you have a complete class size of, say, 20 people, as a trainer, you're breaking even on a class of 20 people. Please add one person, add 2 people from the platform. It's not going to do you any harm. All that does for you is you can also show CSR at the end of the year to say that this is some of the things that we've done to improve other people's lives as an educational institute. Again, I'd like to request an appeal for support as much as we can get. We will be sending out more information about this. You can also read about it in the OGTAN, in the brochure that you have. There's a page with OIP. You can get more information. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you so much for listening, and we hope to hear from you regarding the support that you'll be giving us regarding this. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Okay, I expected a better one. Amazing platform, amazing project, OIP, OGTAN Young Professionals. I was glad when you were stating consideration for students as far as finance is concerned. Some of the things that they brought to us while we were in school were things that we could not afford, even though we were passionate about them. And a lot of us could not take part in such projects. But I'm glad that you are making it available and affordable for the students. One more time, celebrate OIP, the OIP project. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for OGTAN. Okay, I would like to have us receive some very significant address that will be coming from a man that I respect, a man that I appreciate, a man that we also have as an esteemed stakeholder, a personality of great conviviality in this vicinity. Receive with me the president of OGTAN, Mazi Sam Azoka Onyekachi. Very humble man. Thank you for leading OGTAN thus far.
Good afternoon to everyone here. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to this forum. I am very pleased that within a very short period of time, within less than 2 weeks of actual preparation for this, the entire industry is here. Please, a round of applause to yourselves. OGTAN is indeed a favored child. I'm happy at this outstanding support from the industry. God bless you all. I want to still go through the protocol because this is still the formal opening of this event. We have actually tried to buy time because our principal, Engineer Simbi Wabote, is caught up in an event. They will be joining us shortly. So thank you for your patience and sorry for seeming to start late. To the Governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, our special guest of honor, the chairperson, NNPC board, Senator Marjorie Okadibo, ably represented by our friend, the OGTAN friend, Dr. Mrs. Lami Ahmed, another board member of NNPC. Thank you, ma'am. The Executive Secretary and CDMB, Engineer Simbi Wabote, who is here to join us. Our guest of honor, Dr. Ernest Chumwapa Obuagu Oguta Ekenemi Dalusa. The Executive Secretary, PTDF, Dr. Bello Alieguso, ably represented by the GM, Strategic Planning and Documentation, Mr. Jide Adebule. I am pleased and happy with your commitment on behalf of your ES for support to OGTAN. We will take you up on that, sir. The Executive Secretary, MBTA, Professor Idris Mbugeje, ably represented by our friend, Director in charge of the Southeast, Engineer, Dr. M. Okelekwe. You're welcome, man. The Managing Director, SNEPCO, Engineer Loho Aiboni, ably represented by Ak Noaham. Chief, I greet you. Manager, Business Opportunity, Bonga. The GM, Nigerian Content Ventures and Regulatory Affairs, Chevron, Nigeria Limited, Mrs. Edwina Kentebe Oluwakayode. You're welcome. Your family has a history with OGTAN. It's a topic for another day, but you're welcome. The GM, NCD, Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, Dr. Richard Orianzi, another friend of OGTAN. You're welcome. The Chairman, Petan, Mr. Nicholas Odinowe, my friend and brother, someone who has done a lot to merge the two associations that are linked to NCDMB. He has done wonders within his tenure to enhance the collaboration between the two sister associations. Nick, I greet you. The first NCDMB management and staff here present. I could see Kikile, Barrister Kikile, and the rest are yet to join us. You're welcome to this event. The first board chairman and inaugural chairman of OGTAN, double chairman, not only a prof, is also a full-titled Onyense of Yuboland. Thank you, sir, Professor Mike Onyekonwu, for the work you have done. Our inaugural ES, the founder of OGTAN, said, you didn't meet anything, so it is us that came to meet what you have left behind. We thank you for your work, sir. God bless you. The chairman of the board of OGTAN, Dr. Mayowa Afe, who is unavoidably absent today due to other engagements. We thank you, sir. Mrs. Wonola Adetayo. We can't thank you enough. We don't know how to thank you, but God bless you. This is the mother of OGTAN. If there is a father of OGTAN, this is the mother of OGTAN. Madam, God bless you. That was a distinguished OGTAN board member and the first vice chairman of OGTAN. I can see Dr. Ama Ikuru. You're welcome, sir, on behalf of the board. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Professor Joel Obonna, a distinguished OGTAN board member and one of the founding fathers of OGTAN. Prof, you are welcome. No wonder OGTAN is going in diverse places because the founding fathers were both academics who were not just satisfied to sit and be professors of universities. They knew there was something outside the zone of academia. And so they went out of their way to also be involved in business. They learned a lot while they were training others. And so we thank you for the foundations you laid. And this table is actually the founding table of OGTAN. Please a round of applause for this people. The Welding Federation TWF Africa, Executive Director, Engineer Ayo Adeni. We want to welcome you to this event. Is Engineer Ayo here? Thank you. Thank you for what you are doing for Africa and for welding. Thank you for carrying OGTAN on board. OGTAN is moving into Africa, seeking regional cooperation, working closely with Nick of Petan and Petan as a body. And TWF is one of the avenues through which we are trying to penetrate the African oil and gas industry. Petan and OGTAN are on the board of that Welding Federation. This is something we also need to be talking with our industry to see how we can have more regional cooperation and more regional influence. So we thank you, Ayo, for what you are doing. Captains of industry, fellows of OGTAN. The OGTAN Royal Father, who has just joined us, His Royal Majesty Igwe Charles Ebo Moye, the Obioha II of Amore Kingdom, the chairman of one of the OGTAN thriving companies, OPN's Nigeria Limited, Royal Highness, Cheka Eze, the OGTAN Vice President, Mr. Folabi Debisi, a great team player, a supporter of the cause of OGTAN, and one of the founding fathers of OGTAN. He has been in OGTAN from inception and is still playing great roles in that. Vice President of OGTAN, I acknowledge you, sir. The OGTAN Awards Committee members who worked tirelessly to get this event within 2 weeks to this point of success. Kudos to you guys. You can see the OGTAN spirit and the way we are doing a job which our founding ES described as a thankless job. We don't take salaries. There's nothing. We are just passionate men and women who are out there trying to improve the nation as we do our business. You can see the OYP presentation that you just had. The baby of the University Liaison Commission of OGTAN. That is, we call her the Lady of OGTAN. OGTAN is just trying to involve, be more accommodating, be more inclusive, because it used to be all hard faces. Though we started well, because with Mrs. Onola, the ever young, ever amiable mother of OGTAN, OGTAN has always been a mixture of sexes. And so we thank you, Oluchi, for what you're doing. The OGTAN Executive Council members, wonderful team that I have, who have been ever supportive, working day and night. We just came out of a 2-day retreat, abandoned our businesses. We've been in Lagos for the past 3 days, doing a lot of things, strategic planning for the next 1 or 2 years. And then thereafter, we have moved over to this place to continue this. These are men who are working hard for our nation. God bless you all. The OGTAN Executive Council members, distinguished OGTAN Managing Directors and Chief Executives here present, our wonderful sponsors, Doma Long Engineering Limited, JCI International Limited, Geomarine Institute of Nautical Studies and Research, all our distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, particularly NCDMB Media, is always accompanying us wherever we go, because we are not just the baby of NCDMB, but because they are men and women who take their work seriously. Thank you. And then Major Waves Energy Limited, ladies and gentlemen. I am humbled by this great assembly of important men and women of this industry who have, despite the very short notice, honored our invitation to the OGTAN Awards event. It gives me confidence that OGTAN has a great future, given this reliable support system in the industry that elicits such outstanding and prompt response. We are deeply grateful for your being here today to help us honor those to whom honor is due. Skills development can never go out of fashion. You have heard it. Prof is still learning after retiring as a professor. Obuago is still learning and is teaching at the same time. That is, someone said that you die the moment you stop learning. And so, skills development can never go out of fashion. Even in an emerging world of artificial intelligence, human skills and intellect will still be needed to create the machines and the software to govern them. It's us that create the machines. It's us. They don't fall from the sky. So, the value proposition to create OGTAN is therefore a foresighted, sustainable initiative of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. And so the efforts needed for sustainability will be directed simply at upgrading, upskilling, upscaling, retooling, and uptooling. So the world is going digital. We just have to keep at it, be relevant in the scheme of things, learn new styles, learn new technologies, and continue to build on what has been left as a legacy to us. God forbid the day that OGTAN will cease to exist, because it simply means there's a crop of men and women who have decided that learning and skills development should be in the dustbin of history. And that's how nations die. That's how every form of productive effort goes to waste, because a tutored mind is obviously an exposed mind. So our eternal gratitude therefore goes to all contributors to our industrial and social relevance, the creators of OGTAN, the nurturers of OGTAN, the promoters and encouragers of OGTAN, the sponsors of OGTAN, and even the critics of OGTAN, who through their criticisms that we may be having mouth odor, have encouraged us to buy toothpaste and smoker's toothbrush. We are here to celebrate our friends, our mentors, the visionary and supportive persons and institutions who believe OGTAN was worth being created and who still believes the association has a future worth protecting and being invested in. Thanks to all our distinguished awardees who have in one way or the other made OGTAN what it is today and are still guiding her, nurturing her, and encouraging her to what she has potentials to be. A formidable regional trade association of repute for providing professionally skilled human resource for the oil and gas energy industry, and a champion of employment generation for our nation. The OGTAN National Award was created to recognize persons, parastatals, agencies, associations, institutes, academia, and the oil and gas energy industry prospectors and practitioners who have made major impacts, contributions, developed initiatives, rendered egalitarian services, provided support systems and infrastructure, or carried out research, all designed to drive growth and development of human capacity development in the oil and gas industry. This year's 2023 awardees are notable persons and organizations within the industry, regulatory, and academic sectors. The 2023 OGTAN National Award includes Award 1, Industry Human Capacity Development Icon. Award 2, Training, Sponsorship, and Infrastructural Provisions for Human Capacity Development. Award 3, Excellence in National and Regional Capacity Development in the Energy Industry. Award 4, Excellence in Training, Services, and Leadership, Father of OGTAN. Award 5, Outstanding Support to OGTAN HCD Goals and Vision. Award 6, Excellence in Regulation and Standards for National Skills Development. And Award 7, Excellence in Human Capital Development within the energy industry. Ladies and gentlemen, our awards committee has gone the extra mile to ensure that given the overriding criteria for qualification for this award, which is commendable impact on human capacity development, the selected awardees are simply round pegs in round holes. There's no politics here. It is simply, are you a fit? If you are critical, you are objective, you ask yourself, when you see the awardees, see the name title of the award, and compare and contrast, if you need to, what they have done in human capacity development, you will agree with us that these awards are to whom they are apt. It's as simple as that. Thank you. So, the selected awardees are simply round pegs in round holes. Their suitability in meeting the objectives of these awards is simply unquestionable. To each of them, however, we have opened doors that help articulate the greatness of what they have done and the potentials they have to aid even greater things to be done. For as the cliche says, the reward for good work is more work, but also more satisfaction and more recognition, and probably more envy from those struggling with mediocre performances. When people can't do things well, they envy those who do it well. And when you give somebody an award, somebody will say, why didn't I get one? But the truth is that if you don't merit it, you will know inside of you, despite all the claims and deceptions you are talking to yourself about, that it should have been me. You need to improve, because when you improve, others will see and agree that you are deserving of accolades. To our founder, NCDMB, and our ever-supportive Executive Secretary, Engineer Simbi Wabote, we are not opening a door to a nursery with feeding bottles. After all, we are 13 years old and are just testing the sweetness of early teenage years. And so we are opening a door to a room where the father is seated in a 17-story tower in the beautiful coastal land of Bayelsa. And Octan, the son, is invited to sit beside the father. For it seems, as the good book says, that in our father's house, there are many, you are Christians. We have made a representative for Octan to have a physical presence in Bayelsa as a creation of NCDMB. Dr. Ama, I hope you are listening. For closer relationships and ease of achieving the mandates given to her on creation, we implore our ears to look again into this request of having Octan in that tower with our father, made several years ago. To our Executive Secretary, we implore the ears to look at that and do something. To our Executive Secretary, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, we have a door open leading to an engine room, and we can see the powerful mechanical thrusts that have powered several institutions. Thank God you said it yourself. So by thy own mouth, thou hast confessed that Octan needs a closer work with you towards infrastructural provisions for enhanced skills development through Octan, as this will give more impetus to the synergy already existing between us. We have a further request to our ES and CDMB that we are moving forward to a more mature outlook for associations that have started gaining traction. We are moving Octan to learning materials provisions. We have shared this with our friends in IOCs, we have shared it with SNEPCO, that we need to begin to develop learning materials. Materials that can be used for technical skills education. We are partnering with MBTE in that regard. We require sponsorship. We need to be able to put our names in the annals of global associations where intellectual property are stamped with the Octan name. Because part of our strategy is to accredit our association, certify it to ISO, relevant ISO standards, to give it a global benchmark. We need the support of the industry. To our ever-supportive IOC, Shell, SNEPCO, Your love for Nigerians shows an open door with happy Nigerians dancing with their safety boots and hard hats. I was taught safety by Shell and no other, and so many in the industry. So as you taught us safety, also go the next step to teach us what to do with the safety boots and the hard hat. We don't wear them to Onisha Market. There's a place where they are supposed to go. So, see happy Nigerians dancing with their safety boots and hard hats. And OGTAN is a veritable tool for improved and professionally happy Nigerians. We are desirous of domiciling training services in country, focused on the same output that made you develop the Shell SITB. I was a young undergraduate when SITB was started in Warri and then Port Harcourt. And you started to train and develop Nigerians of your own free will because you were interested in having professionally competent Nigerians. We are desirous of this further domiciling training in country with the same output as Shell SITB via curriculum development and train the trainer programs. Entering into that sphere of training, we want to develop our own curriculum, certify and accredit them, and then carry out train-the-trainer programs. And we know that Shell supports good causes. We are looking at you to take the message back to Our Lady and our friend, Engineer Eloho Ibon. Thank you. We believe we can do more in this regard with support from SNEPCO. To MBTE, we already have an open door with oil and gas operational standards in shelves within the room, and your sustained partnership with OGTAN will lead to greater opportunities for participation of more Nigerians in the industry through developed, approved, accredited, and internationally benchmarked oil and gas operational standards. Thank God for the passion that your team is bringing to the table, because we play in the oil and gas industry. The oil and gas industry is basically internationally benchmarked across the board. All of them. Chevron sitting by you, French, American company, NAOC, Italian, Shell, Europe. So they play on certain lines. And so for us to bring something to the table that will be acceptable to the industry, which they govern, it must be internationally benchmarked. So we thank you for the cooperation and the willingness to go the entire mile. So that's why we are all here. It's an opportunity for you to network, see the people that own the industry, see the regulators of the industry, see the doyens of the industry, see the OGTAN fathers and mothers. We are doing a marriage here where all of you can come together to see why you need to come together and work for the benefit of this country called Nigeria, because skills will outlast oil. Right now we are transiting to the fourth industrial revolution. We are transiting to the internet age, IoTs and all that. We need to keep moving ahead, changing our style and adapting new technologies. So we thank you for your cooperation. PETAN and OGTAN are basically Siamese twin, both linked to and with NCDMB, and the door of collaboration that has been opened by the current visionary PETAN chairman, Nick Odunuwe, can only lead to greater regional impact in the industry and should be sustained. I am happy to announce there will be a formal endorsement of the collaboration between the two sister associations during the ongoing CIPEC. And to our father, who led OGTAN with uncommon dedication from a great vision to a great reality, we can only say the door to endless counsel as a dayon of knowledge and servant leadership should permanently be open to accommodate our many queries. We thank you for your leadership and support, Professor Mike Onyeko. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once more to a celebration of persons and institutions of excellence and commendable dedication to humanity's well-being and a future for Nigerians. Thank you.
I ran for a lot of things about Igwe Charles, that he's somebody that does 2 times what other people do. And I know that the person that told me this thing is not a liar. He's a wonderful man. God bless you, sir. It's good to have you here. Please, my greetings to the Amuri people. Tell the Amuri people that Amari, we will see them very soon. I would like also to recognize the presence of Mrs. Folake Soyonwo, representing Pastor Ayo Otuyalo, the Group CEO, Prime Atlantic Safety Services and board member. Please put your hands together for Similolo Adeyinke as well, representative of the First E&P. Please recognize the presence of Mr. Obi Onoche, NCD Manager of SNEPCO, Shell. Mr. Kene Akubwe, NCD Manager, SPDC. You are welcome. Dr. Richard Orenzi, the GM NCD Nigerian Ajib Oil Company. Please, we celebrate you. Thank you for coming. Mrs. Edwina Kentebe Oluwakayode, thank you so much for being here with us. The GM NC Ventures and Regulatory Affairs, Chevron. Okay, I've recognized the presence of Mr. Ike Noham, Business Opportunity Manager, Bonga. Thank you very much for being here with us. Mr. Jolomi Okrika, Manager, NCD Project and Operations, Chevron. Mr. Jolomi Okrika, where is he seated? God bless you, sir. God bless you. I had a tough time being sure of the pronunciation of your name. I had to verify because I was asking Mr. Darlington. I said, Mr. Darlington, pronounce this name. He pronounced what he pronounced. I asked Mr. Femi, pronounce this name. They pronounce the same thing that is in my mind. I said, let it not be that I come on stage and now call my father's mate Okrika, and they will say, why are you calling? Sir, is that the correct pronunciation, sir? It's Okrika. Wow, that's great. I think I'm going towards Oshodi today, are we? I'll gladly. Why, the way you people are laughing, you are laughing internal laughter. Well, thank you so much. Maybe later in the course of the event, I would love to come close to you and know the meaning of that name, so that I have at least 2 minutes of a great name like that. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to treat you to some beautiful tunes, even as you relax, and that will help us link up into the session of award presentation. The award presentation organized by OGTAN is something that is done out of merit. It is done out of profound practice. It is done out of verified productivity. It is done out of personality traits that stands out in the midst of others. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like us to have my friend, my brother, who is recently evolving and adding to his knowledge and skills in Egypt, based in Abuja and always representing the OGTAN family. Please receive with me the music maestro, saxophone icon, and rhythm young star, saxophone Gabby. Gabby, let's take this away.
Thank you. us to take this opportunity to meet our friends, to meet our colleagues, to meet those who are doing greatly in the industry, network. After this time out, we'll be celebrating some persons and celebrating ourselves. Then, of course, we'll be having lunch. You see, I'm extremely pleased that this will be chairman. That's what you should be doing. God bless you, sir. Yes, and with my big brother, engineer Ifo More, a great man with Global Usher. Maya is here. Maya, it's good to see you again. went back to Egypt to conquer and reconquer. He's an ICT lover and he's a human being. Yeah, please, let's be seated. You can text your friends, WhatsApp them, or call them that we have continued with the event. We will have some goodwill messages. We will have some goodwill messages and move straight into the award presentation. Please, if you are outside, we'd like you to walk majestically into the hall so that you will not miss any part of the beauty that we share in this gathering. I've personally took out time to network. That's something I do for a living. I'm a natural networker. I advise you do the same even after the national awards. Okay, since we have one house already, I would like to make welcome representing First E&P, Similolu Adeyinka, for the goodwill message. Please, a round of applause for her. Then a special round of applause for her outfit. It's amazing. It's amazing. This outfit is content on its own. Thank you so much. Should I hold the microphone for you? Okay.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I beg to stand on existing protocols. I am here representing Mr. Demola Adeyemi Bero, the Managing Director of First Exploration and Petroleum Development Company, who would have loved to be here today but is unavoidably absent. He has requested that I share his highest regards with you all and that I especially extend his congratulations to the winners of the 2023 OGTAN Awards. First Exploration and Petroleum Development Company Limited, First E&P, is a leading independent exploration and production company with maximum delivery across the upstream oil and gas value chain. We are also a member of the Independent Petroleum Producers Group, an association of indigenous exploration and production Nigerian companies. The vision of the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board to create and establish the OGTAN is a laudable one, having recognized the need for local Nigerian trainers to come together under an umbrella that would give their organizations a clearer voice while ensuring and certifying that the quality of training being delivered is of the right standards and meets the requirements of the industry. Belonging to an association of like minds, objectives and vision ensures that there is proper advocacy for the right policies and processes for the benefits of their members and all their stakeholders. As we gather to recognize the achievements of this association and its members, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the important role that trainers and educators play in the oil and gas industry. In a field that is constantly evolving, it is essential to have individuals who are dedicated to staying ahead of the curve and imparting their knowledge and expertise to the next generation of professionals. All over the world, organizations are becoming more interested in individuals with the right skills and expertise in addition to their degrees. Upskilling has become the new norm, where everyone must continually keep abreast of what is required in their chosen career and develop and obtain the skills to enable them deliver at their job and remain relevant. I believe I speak for the entire energy sector in Nigeria today, and most especially for the independents, that having an adequately skilled workforce cannot be overemphasized, as we have to constantly ensure that our funds are judiciously allocated with little room for budget and schedule overruns, which can only be achieved with a competent workforce. As our industry continues to champion the importance of the local content agenda, we must cultivate an enabling infrastructure
that allows capability to be sustainably developed in Nigeria. We are of the ethos that as a company and a nation, we must grow and develop our own timber of talent. Indeed, many of us here today are products of local content development, and we must keep the pipeline open and ensure that it continues to produce world-class talent that can champion industries that keep our industry competitive on the world stage. All of this points to why the work being carried out by the NCDMB through the OGTAN is extremely important. We enjoin members of OGTAN to continue to be proactive in identifying the next generation of skills required in the industry and put together training and development activities to close those skill gaps so that organizations do not have to look outside the country. These skills should also include robotics, artificial intelligence, digitalization, and so much more. OGTAN should continue to promote its members and their offerings by being a one-stop shop for all relevant industries training so that organizations such as FESTI and P can readily find the right providers when developing its learning and development curriculum for her staff. We understand that the OGTAN National Award was created to recognize those who have made major impacts and contributions to drive growth and development of human capacity development in the oil and gas industry. It is our belief that these awards will encourage other individuals and organizations to continue to raise the bar with regards to the delivery of capacity development. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to each of the award recipients here today. Your dedication to the field of oil and gas training and education is truly inspiring. Your achievements are a testament to the hard work and commitment that you bring to your work every day, and I'm sure that they will serve as a source of inspiration to others inside and outside the industry. Finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to the Oil and Gas Trainers Association of Nigeria for its continued efforts to support the growth and development of the industry. Your dedication to your mission and your commitment to excellence serve as a model for others. I commend the organizers of today's events and wish you all continued success in your important work. Thank you very much.
We can do better than that. A round of applause. Thank you so much. Representing First TMP. So I will be taking another person to offer a goodwill message. And this is from the Welding Federation, TWF Africa, the executive director precisely. Okay, after this, we'll take the award. Okay. Let's take, for reasons of timing, we will take this particular award, then we'll get back to goodwill messages. We'll continue with the awards as well. Okay, so we start with this award session, and I bring up the presenters of the award. We name the category, or we name the basis on which this award is presented, the title of it. Then, of course, we'll bring up the award recipient. To present this award, okay, they're getting that set. Let me have, you have it already? Okay, to present this award, Professor Joel
Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, PETAN, with an objective to ensure the indigenous companies have adequate and commendable participation in the Nigerian oil and gas industry. His administration continued the excellent work of the association in projecting Nigerian companies, creating jobs and opportunities for Nigerians in the energy industry across the nation and the African region. Especially through laudable SIPEC initiative, his administration also opened up a new vista of collaboration with OGTAN, with a partnership that can only benefit both associations in projecting Nigeria's leadership in local content development through building local capacities as well as developing human capital in the sub-Saharan African continent. He is a graduate of the University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, and he holds an MSc degree of the University of Port Harcourt. He is also an alumnus of Georgetown University School of Business, Washington, D.C. He has fellowships and membership accreditations and certificates of local
like
and
Professor
international
Nicholas
bodies, such as SCE, IASP, ISWA,
to please come up as he stands,
MLS,
even as we recognize
and NIM. With over 3 decades
his
experience
achievements
in the
and
oil
more.
and gas industry as QHSC consultant and investment in upstream and midstream. He guided recent expansion of holdings in Mozambique, Tanzania, Senegal, and Uganda, amongst others. Ladies and gentlemen, for these laudable achievements and more, Mr. Nicholas Odinuwe is recognized for the excellence in national and regional capacity development in the energy industry.
You can do better than that. You can do better than that. When you see a young man being recognized, like you clap better. All right.
Wonderful. On behalf of OGTAN Management, Board of Trustees, and the lovers of OGTAN, I present this award to you. Congratulations. Thank you.
We'd like you, sir, to respond.
Thank you very much. Can we put our hands together for him?
Thank you very much. One more time, a round of applause for Professor Nick. Thank you so much. We'll celebrate you, sir. Okay? So, it's allowed for us to respond when we are presented the awards if we want to, but Professor Nick has some other things to attend to, so for the want of time, he has to move on to those things. So please, thank you so much for coming along. Okay, so we go back to taking a goodwill message. After that, we continue with the awards. My president, are we on track? All right. So, representing the Welding Federation, TWF Africa, the Executive Director, Engineer Ayo Adeni. Please come up for your goodwill message. Engineer Ayo Adeni. Where is he? Okay, coming already.
All protocols duly observed. Thank you very much. I'd like to start my good remarks by quoting Nelson Mandela. Mandela said, until Nigeria recognizes itself and takes its place in the League of Nations, Africa will never wake up. And in the last few years, we've seen that happening. Nigeria is beginning to wake up, and the continent is feeling the vibes. On this note, I'd like to say thank you very much to PETAN, to OGTAN. I've seen the list of the awardees. Without mincing words, at least for 3 of them, I've interacted with them for a while. They more than merit the award. It's actually based on absolute merit. I'm a critical human being, I'm telling you. In fact, if there's any punchline, I'll say it the way it is. From Nicholas, his passion for capacity development, both in the country and within the region. The same thing with Mazi Sam Onyeji. These 2 individuals, you might not know the impact yet of what they are doing in Africa until the time comes when you start feeling the impact. I would like to also commend Engineer Ernest Nwakpa. I was one of those running, yes, he doesn't know, from NIW side. For years, ladies and gentlemen, we were confused with quantitative progress and conflicting it with qualitative progress. But of recent, we are beginning to wake up to blend both quantitative and qualitative progress. And that is the future of not just participating in industry, but managing the industry. That is where the growth lies. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for stating that and elaborating quantitative growth and qualitative growth. Thank you so much. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, we'll quickly move and continue with the awards, the award session. Are you ready? Okay. So in the next 1 minute, we're going to get DJ tunes, then we'll move to the next award. DJ, 1 minute. My media guys, get ready. We're moving quickly. Okay, DJ, bring it down. Okay, so DJ FOS, thank you very much. We move back into the awards. Okay, for training sponsorship and infrastructural provisions for human capacity development. This award goes to the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF. Please, sir.
The Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, was established by law to train Nigerians to effectively participate in the petroleum industry. PTDF has for many years created platforms and enabling environment for Nigerians to develop requisite skills for professional participation in the oil and gas industry. She has awarded scholarship to Nigerians for undergraduate, graduate, and doctorate programs at premier institutes, home and abroad, and has done this in commendable egalitarian principle of fairness and inclusiveness.
To present the award, we have Mrs. Wonola Detayo.
She contributed to human capacity development
Thank you so much, ma'am. Please.
Infrastructural development and support to relevant institutions of learning.
Thank you so much. Please hand the award over. The microphone is there for response.
my distinguished pleasure on behalf of the board, the management of the Oil and Gas Trainers Association to present this beautiful award to you. And then before I allow you to say something, I'd like to say one or two things. First, it's an honor to be here. Please help me give a resounding applause to the current chairman, because, and I'm happy to see Engineer Nwakpa. That's why I said I want to say just one or two things, because a lot of people are looking at today, and you might wonder when we kept saying this whole thing started from nothing. It started with a man with a vision, and that's Nwakpa, seated here. Never mind the fact that I'm not saying all these protocol titles, because at the end of the day, we're human beings. Here's a man who sat down one day, took a look at a number of us trainers that he had invited, and I had gone, just like my colleagues had gone, and he said, you know, guys, you can't be powerful unless you come together. And right there and then, here's a man believing in people. I'd never met him before in my life, I'd never seen him, and he just went, okay, so you will be the chairman, and you'll be one of them. You know, he pointed at a host of us, and I just can remember both myself and my chairman, who is humbly seated here, taking a look at ourselves. And at the end of the day, this team, with absolutely no funding, as in zero, we used all that we had, established the organization, used our various monies, premises, offices to ensure that this thing came into being. And it's just a joy to see what has happened. Unlike what happens normally, and that's why I'm saying this, good things can happen for good citizens of Nigeria. We've had 3 seamless transitions without calling in an INEC, without fighting one another. We have each graciously retired and seamlessly moved hands to other people. And just look at how beautiful today is. So thank you so very much. Thank you, Engineer Nwakpa, and thank you, my president, for carrying on, and God bless you. And now, PTDF, we had gone and visited them. Yes, do you remember? And we went in there and said, guys, you can't just sit there, you gotta support us. Now, whether they did or not, the reality is, here is PTDF standing, and here is OGTAN standing. Long live our nation, Nigeria. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you very much. You can respond with that microphone.
Okay. Madam, thank you very much. On behalf of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, particularly the CEO, Dr. Bello Ali Oguso, I want to thank everyone, particularly OGTAN, for this award. And I want to say one thing, that for the past 23 years, ourselves and OGTAN, we have partnered in several ways. And when the director, Dr. Lami, was talking about Nigerian University, at times when people don't know, we just have to keep saying it. From PTDF alone, we have developed facilities in 26 federal universities. Not only training, all the 6,000 scholarships you had is just part of it. In all those universities, we constructed new buildings, laboratory and workshop equipment, training, and all the rest. The first generation, we had professors that sat as endowed professor. Professor Oyekon was in gas engineering in University of Port Harcourt. We have petroleum engineering in UI. We have chemical engineering in ABU. We have geology in University of Maiduguri, and several. So we are not leaving what is happening there here in Nigeria. It's not just overseas scholarship. We are developing facilities here. We are cooperating with sister agencies. We are cooperating with NNPC in College of Petroleum Studies. We are cooperating with NCDMB in Skill Development Center. If you listen to news, about 3 weeks ago, a few days ago, the Federal Executive Council just approved the Oil and Gas Research Center at Oloibiri, which is a partnership between the PTDF and NCDMB. In another 36 months, that place will be up and running. I want to thank you again and commend your efforts. Thank you very much.
A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. Okay, the next we have is the award for excellence in recognition, regulations and standards for
for national skills development. And I'm talking about the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE. Please, a round of applause. A round of applause. Is your representative?
The National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, was established with the enabling laws to regulate all aspects of technical and vocational education and training, TVET, falling outside the university, to set and maintain national minimum standards in the establishment of institutions. The Act was amended in 1993 to empower private participation in the establishment and running of TVET institutions. The National Board for Technical Education has for many years promoted standardization in technical and vocational education within Nigeria across all sectors, focusing on skills and not just degrees. With the mission to promote the production of skilled technical and professional manpower for the development and sustenance of the national economy is no mean task. NBTE has further initiated the National Oil and Gas Occupational Standards with a collaborative framework developed in synergy with other stakeholders in the sector, such as the Education and Training Sectorial Working Group of NCDMB. The NBTE partners with key stakeholders such as Sector Skills Council to develop National Occupational Standards, NOS, and also approve and recognize awarding bodies which are critical to the implementation of the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework, NSQF. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, is rewarded for these many achievements and partnership in the industry with OGTAN Excellence in Regulation and Standards Award 2023.
And to present this award, we have the OGTAN Royal Father himself, the magnanimous one, His Royal Majesty, Igwe Charles Egbonwonye Obioha II of Amuri Kingdom, the chairman of Opion's Nigeria Limited. Please, a traditional round of applause. Yes. Welcome, sir. Madam, you are highly favored. His Royal Majesty is presenting to you. The entire Amuri Kingdom is presenting the award to you. So please. I'll hold the microphone for you.
Our President of OGTAN, the pioneer president and his executive, and the immediate past president of OGTAN. I want to salute especially Engineer Watwell. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make a little comment before this presentation. For the special family called MBTC, MBTC has contributed immensely to technical education development in this nation, especially for the skilled workers in the academia. Most of us do not know, but I want to appeal to the industry and the captains of the industry to encourage, look deep down among your workforce, especially those technicians in your work environment. the electricians that are skilled workers, the welders, and the rest of them. They are too numerous to mention. Here in this country, they are very good in their technical knowledge and expertise in delivering their services. But most times the employers of labor lay emphasis on certification. What degree do you have on this area you are working on? They never consider the hands-on, what they contribute to technological development. For the academics, you may read all the books and write all the theses and all the what you can think of. But when it comes to hands-on, it could be a 0%. There are these guys, the guys I'm talking about, that have, when it comes to hands-on, they got all the 70 to 75% of the hands-on. And that's what you need. National Board for Technical Education have looked at this, analyzed it. I commend OGTAN. I'm so surprised that you look in depth to their contributions to the educational sector, especially the technical aspect. I commend the board. I thank you for contributing, and I'm happy with OGTAN for you partnering with us. To relieve from opiates, year 2021, I recommended one of the boys in opiates. This is a true life story. That came in as a cleaner, from cleaner to working in the workshop as an assistant. His supervisor left and he was doing the job. He's highly intelligent. When you think about do it yourself, this young man can do it. I call him Mr. Fix-It. Call him on electrical, he will fix it. Call him on the wiring, he will figure out what to do. Call him on plumbing, he said, don't call the plumber. He will fix it. And I said to him, Baba, that's fondly how I call him. His name is Ibrahim Babangida. I say, Baba, I usually sometimes say, my Oga, I beg you go university, yeah? Where your paper, your WAEC, you get them? He said, yes. Can I see it? He showed it to me. And I called the HOD of Rivers State University. What does it take to enroll to do the technical education? And they told me, gave me all the prerequisites. And I gave him the money to go and obtain the form personally. And he obtained the form and he enrolled. Today, he is in his year 2 doing the cars. Don't look down on them. Don't look down and say it's an ordinary citizen. Contribute to nation building by contribute to human development, manpower development. On this note, Madam, representing MBTE, I say congratulations for this special award from Oil and Gas Training Association of Nigeria. God bless you and your organization as you receive this.
Congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations. You want to say more?
I'm having a handshake with a lady for the first time as a traditional ruler, because the tradition says no to that. But I have to have this handshake because of the honor the organization deserves. God bless you.
Wow, 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 wow. Madam, I have one advice for you. Please, let me see your hand, ma'am. Can I see your hand? I've taken my own copy. Please don't wash your hand. Me, I'm not bathing 2 weeks. If I bathe every part of my body, I will avoid this hand in the shower. So please, respond.
Thank you for this opportunity. I am very happy standing on behalf of my ES, Executive Secretary of National Board for Technical Education. I must tell you that he is hearing what we are doing now, because he is in Bangladesh now, still on TVET. He actually went to sign an MOU with Bangladesh government on technical teachers support program. So all have been said here is all about standardization of training and certification. We have a program approved by the Federal Executive Council called National Skill Qualification under the Nigerian Skill Qualification Framework. What we do here is all about competency certification. We know that many people undergo training in various forms. Many people are skilled. Many people are still undergoing skill training. In schools, we do technical education. But then we are emphasizing now that TVET is not just technical, it's technical and vocational. So we are concerned about that. We are not saying that degree is not it. What we are saying that even while you're in school, you can develop your skills. So all we are saying is that National Skill Qualification is a system for the development, recognition, and certification of skills, irrespective of how and where you got your training. That's what we are saying. So right now, we have a World Bank project under the Federal Ministry of Education going around the country in different fields, training and certifying people in different trades. Unfortunately, we don't have occupational standard for oil and gas sector. I've said it before, and I'm still saying it now, that we need it. When we had a meeting with OGTAN, a body of the OGTAN anyway, we said that when we started this skill qualification, we had oil and gas sector as one of our priority areas to work on. But unfortunately, we didn't get the people on board to develop it. So we are so happy that this is coming up now. And we are hoping and hopeful that that standard is one thing. Awarding body is another thing. Sector Skill Council is another. There are a lot of things to be done. And we are hopeful that we will get it done right. Because when they train, it's not the trainer that awards certificates. A trainer trains people that we call assessors, verifiers, internal verifiers, don't their own. Then we now get the awarding board that will give the certificate. Meanwhile, there's Sector Skill Council that will say that in our sector, this is what we need. So please, it is very, very dear to us that this gathering will give us the desired forum to move forward. Because ours is based on our mandate to regulate. So we're a regulatory body. But then the players are all of us here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Celebrate the woman, the first woman to receive a beer handshake from His Royal Majesty. God bless you, ma'am. If I were you, I would just be going home from here. Adia mama. Let's go home. Don't shake anybody. Wear nose mask on your hand. her move. She's even greeting people. You're not supposed to greet mere men again. You greet the gods. Okay, that was on the lighter note. Now the next award is for excellence in training services and leadership. And this goes to no other person but the father of OGTAN, Professor Mike Obi Onyekon. Please celebrate the father of OGTAN. If OGTAN means so much to you, you should be standing. The way Engineer Steve is standing and clapping with his chest out.
And also chairman of the board.
Yes.
He was the former
God bless you, sir.
of the Institute
Our
of
daddy.
Petroleum Studies,
Bye.
University of Port Harcourt,
Welcome, sir. Please
2010 to
stand here.
2015.
You may be seated.
And also a former member of the Nigerian Content Development Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Governing Council 2010 to 2016. He equally served as the PTDF Gas Chair Professor of Petroleum and Gas Engineering 2004 to 2009. A member of the University of Port Harcourt Council 2010 to 2013. And a visiting lecturer to the University of Leeds, UK, 1991. Professor Mike Onyekon is a registered COREN engineer and a member of the several professional organizations NSC, COREN, NIM, SPE, etc. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science and many more. He has published 5 books and monographs and more than 150 articles in reputable journals. He is listed by Elsevier as one of the recognized authors in Nigeria for his publications from 2014 to 2020. He has 2 patents to his name. His selfless visions and commendable leadership of OGTAN for several years at her establishment by NCDMB as first chairman of the association blazed a trail that has remained hot and sets the sacrificial leadership approach that has sustained the association to date. He did not only create the impactful leadership culture that drives the association to date, but has continued to give guidance and support to each subsequent leadership of OGTAN in the traditional roles of a father to his offspring, all designed to ensure the mandates given to OGTAN on our establishment by NCDMB are not vitiated. These fatherly roles during and post your tenure as OGTAN inaugural chairman have indeed earned you the title Father of OGTAN. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation, welcome the man of the people, the father of OGTAN, Professor Onyekon, for his excellence in training services and leadership.
Thank you so much. The lady that is doing the voiceover did not know. You know, we have already done the standing ovation. I cannot be saying stand, sit. We're not in primary school. But I want to celebrate my daddy especially. And to present this award, no other person but Dr. Mrs. Lami O. Ahmed, board member, NMPC. Please celebrate the beautiful and outstanding woman as she walks up to, okay? Let me do the normal thing I used to do when I see Amazons. Yes. See the way now I'm lifting an NPC. That's life. Who knew? Bye. Please receive the award from our wonderful mommy. Don't worry, I'll hold it for you.
I feel extremely honored to be presenting this award to you. It is my board chairperson, Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo, that's supposed to present this, but I feel privileged that she sent me to do this. And I'm happy that I'm in front of a great man. You know, it's always said that no amount of money, position, that can make any great man, except the greatness he has earned for himself. And so today you are being celebrated because you sacrifice your time, your talent, and treasure to plant a seed, and here you are seated, watching and seeing how God has blessed that effort. On behalf of OGTAN, I'm asked to make this presentation, and may the good Lord continue to bless you and continue to expand OGTAN. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So we'd like to hear our father's response.
The response is, thank you so much for honoring me. I think I've already made a speech. I'm really very happy. I didn't expect this to come, but now that he has come, my prayer is that all of you that are here will continue to be active in this organization. Not only the oil and gas industry needs OGTAN, the whole Nigeria needs OGTAN, because after the oil and gas...
Representative, would like you to come and
Incorporated in 1993 with headquarters in Lagos, Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company Limited, SNEPCO, has been developing the Nigeria's deep water oil and gas resources till date. SNEPCO plays a leading role in developing human capital in Nigeria through innovative programs such as the SITP, Shell Intensive Training Program, which has been a template for the many HCD programs in the industry today. She developed the first generation of Nigerian oil and gas engineers with deep water experience through its Bonga field development in 2014. In addition, her engagement with the industry through several associations and particularly the support of OGTAN's commitment towards achieving effective human capital development across the energy industry is indicative of her trailblazing attributes in this area and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, we present Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company, SNEPCO, for her out.
Thank you so much. And to present this award, I'd like to make welcome our guest of honor, Engineer Dr. Ernest Chu Mwakba, Ogbuagu Oguta. The man with two feathers. If one feather can make you fly higher, imagine two feathers. They will take you further. A father in the industry. God bless you, sir. Please. All right.
Okay, I've given my goodwill message, but I can't resist the urge to say a few things about Shell. Regarding local content, I always see Shell as one of the prime movers. As you all know, even the PETAN group will tell you that it is Shell that started giving a lot of individual, a lot of indigenous contractors work, even before the law came to be. I am happy that Shell is also being recognized by OGTAN as a prime mover in their business and a company that takes great interest in their affairs. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees of OGTAN and the leadership of OGTAN, I am very, very happy and I feel privileged to stand here to give you this important award. I hope you value it as much as the guys that are giving it to you.
You want to respond? Okay, use my mic.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I stand on existing protocols. I'll keep this really short. On behalf of the Managing Director, Mrs. Elo Iboni, and the rest of the leadership of SNEPCO, I just want to say a very big thank you for this recognition and for the award. But I'll just say a few words around. For us, the spirit of OGTAN lives with us. We're a company with a deep sense of
pride in learning. As a matter of fact, one of the leadership attributes we promote within the organization is for leaders and people to have a learner mindset. And that is why till today, in Shell, you cannot ask a stupid question. Everyone is encouraged to learn. The spirit of learning is embedded within the culture of the organization. And when it comes to promoting local capacity, I think it's safe to start by saying that we've been a pioneer in local capacity development. You would recall that in 1999, the Bonga field was discovered. And we went on to develop that field, and by 2005, we had the major deep water final investment decision. 1999. And by 2005, we started Bonga. We took that final investment decision on, I think, about 579 million barrels of oil. Today, we've exceeded that by over 60%. We pioneered the deep water. And I can tell you when that started, there were lots of experts working in the deep water space, very limited local capacity. Today, over 98% of the people we have running SNEPCO, from the FPSO to the guys operating the crane, are all Nigerians. We didn't stop there, but it's also safe to assume that our support structure for learning starts at the primary level, where we issue, since 2016, we've issued close to 900 scholarship grants to people in the very primary school, indigent people, right? People who really can't afford to go to school. We didn't stop there. At the secondary level, since 2016, I think we've issued over 2,500 scholarship grants to secondary schools. We also don't stop at the secondary school. At the university level, I think since 2016 as well, we've done in excess of 3,200 scholarships at the secondary level. This is publicly, widely advertised. I am one of the scholars. So again, when I was in Unilag, I got the Shell scholarship, right? Didn't know anybody in Shell, I got it. I came out, I didn't know anybody in Shell, and for 18 years I've been working in Shell, and today I can stand and speak for the promotion of excellence within the organization. Just to say a bit more of what we do in the educational sector, I think in 2017 we developed the Center of Excellence for Marine Engineering at the University of Rivers State University of Science and Technology, and we handed that off with the clear mandate: please develop postgraduate level education for people in the offshore space, so that when we need people from marine engineering, all sorts of categories to support deep water operation, we don't go hire them from abroad. And today, the dividends is paying off. Lots of things we do. There are contracts we award, substantial part of it to local entities and to OGTAN members as well as PETAN members. The spirit of the NOGICD Act is something we started to even work before the act was signed, just like Dr. NX also just said. So for Shell, we are extremely delighted that this recognition is coming. We embrace it and we thank you for it, and we will continue to do our own best to strengthen local capacity development, local competence development, not necessarily just through people, but through the local entities as well, to ensure that the oil and gas sector in Nigeria continues to benefit from our operations while we return value to the shareholders and power progress together with society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You are highly favored, sir. God bless you. You say you did not know anybody in Shell. You received a scholarship. You did not know anybody. You have been working with Shell for 18 years. Sir, I don't know anybody in Shell. You know what that means. But it's okay. Thanks for coming, and thank you for doing that for the educational sector. 900 primary school level, secondary school 300, and still running. God bless you real good. Meanwhile, what that was happening We had a woman of great repute walking. I'm talking about the manager capacity building, NCDMB. No other person but Mrs. Angela Okoro. Please celebrate. Thank you. Last time I saw you was at a Global Ocean event, and you were there with my doctor here, and you did justice to that. The trainees were very excited. God bless you. Thank you for coming. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have an important information. Please pay attention. It affects everybody. It affects everybody here because I've been saying it. Please. So I was informed to tell us that it's time for lunch. So can I eat? We have agreed. I've discussed with the federal government and the state government. And to lead the VIP table, I have my esteemed CEO, HSC Nations, the magnanimous, enviable, and esteemed organizer of AfriSafe Awards and Diomis Awards, respectively. No other person but Femi Da Silva. Very humble man.
So now we can go quickly to the award presentation. Meanwhile, I believe you are still trying to have some food. Some are rounding up with their food already. So please enjoy yourself. We can have that simultaneously. I hope you enjoy the food. As OGTAN food. You must enjoy it. Always sweet. No matter the hotel, there's something that OGTAN puts in the food to make it sweet. It's called octanomia. All right, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, I'm still your very own humble Martins the Enshrined. At this point in time, I'd like to make welcome to do a proper address and welcome the President OGTAN, the humble and magnanimous and energetic Mazi Sam Azoka Ayechi. Please celebrate.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. They said the holy cap fits, then we wear it. We've done a lot in the absence of our principal, and so I want to just use the opportunity, sir, to welcome you to the OGTAN National Awards ceremony. We are very grateful that you flew in straight away from Abuja and came straight all the way here. It shows the love you have for OGTAN. And if you look around you, you will also see those who love OGTAN, who indeed set the pace for the love of NCDMB for OGTAN. We are deeply grateful, sir, for all of them. Mrs. Sonola has just left. The old OGTAN team that you know, Professor Ekong is still here. You can see Obuago by your right side, by your left side. He made a joke about his two feathers, that very soon he will drop the feathers on your head, and he will now add a third one to distinguish himself from the elderly statesman to the newly elected elderly statesman. So in your absence, sir, we have done a lot. We have given so many of the awards, but the award for NCDMB and your humble self, we kept until now, because you assured us that you are coming. And we are truly grateful that we were just talking about the shell culture. I was talking about shell culture with your colleague, Chris Osaro-Wense, but also about the young man. Dr. Ama was telling him that that the things we were talking about were things I was doing when I was in shell. And so, the shell culture grooms men of certain repute and certain cultures and certain kinds of attitude. And when they say a thing, they do it. And that's what we know you for, that when you make a commitment, even if it's where come hell or high water, you keep that commitment. So we are truly grateful that you finally made it here. And thank God for kind of safe flights and safe navigation of Lagos traffic. Our man says sometimes it's car park traffic, where you park your car and go and buy something. And then you come back and continue. But all the same, God was on our side. So welcome you, sir. Some of our industry people have left. I can still see Shell. Chevron is still here by your left. In fact, this was a collection of all the industry, and it shows how much OGTAN is valued and human skills development is valued in the industry. All of them. The lady from Chevron, Mrs. Rina Kentebe, Oluwake, I think Oluwake, yes, said, I'm blown away. And I said, Madam, that's why we brought you, so that you see what's going on and see that there is need for the industry to collaborate with OGTAN. And so I think Aji has left. They were here. Chevron is still here. Snepco is there. First EMP, they have.
And we're just waiting for you to come in. And I want to say thank you, sir, for making it. And we'll not waste your time further. We'll proceed with the award. And then thereafter, if you have anything to tell us, you will go ahead. I will personally pass my speech to you because there were some doors I asked to be opened for OGTAN. And Dr. Chief Obuago has always gave us a hint. He said there was this story in the Bible where an angel came down from heaven while Jacob was sleeping. And Jacob woke up and grabbed the leg of the angel and held on. And the angel was saying, leave me, it will soon be daybreak. I don't want anybody to see me. Leave me. He said, I will not leave you until you bless me. And so Dr. Ernest Mwamba has told us this several times. He said, hold the left leg of the ears. Hold him. When he's kicking, hold him. If he's struggling, hold him. Hold him until he does something for OGTAN. And so we are taking the advice of an elder. So when I grab your leg, sir, please don't kick too much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Can we welcome our MC, our principal, and friend of OGTAN. He calls me his friend, and when a big man calls you his friend, you go home happy. And I remember the handshake of the Royal Highness to MBT. They said, don't go and wash the hand again, because you have received a royal handshake. Thank you, Engineer Simbi Kesie Wabote, for your support to OGTAN. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. You are a fantastic speaker. Please celebrate our wonderful president, an ever-ready man. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, we go straight back into the presentation of awards. And of course, one more time, you're welcome, sir. This award is for excellence. Media guys, are we ready? All right. This award is for excellence in human capital development within the energy industry. Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. A round of applause. A round of applause. Let's have a representative come here, please. Let's have a representative come here, please. A representative of NCDMB.
NOGICD Act 2010. The board is the agency of government responsible for the implementation of Nigerian content requirement in the oil and gas industry. Her vision, to be the catalyst for the industrialization of the Nigerian oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors, and mission to promote the development and utilization of in-country capacities for the industrialization of Nigeria through the effective implementation of the Nigerian Content Act. Some of the functions of the board include to approve Nigerian content plans and issue certificates of authorization, to engage in targeted capacity building interventions and monitor the Nigerian content compliance by operators and service providers. 2. Establish, maintain, and operate the Joint Qualification System, NOGICD. To conduct studies, research, investigations, workshops, training, and enlightenment programs for the development of the Nigerian content. The board's various programs, innovation, and consistent strides in supporting human capital development through numerous HCD programs, research and development, infrastructural development, grants, as well as the technology innovation and incubation centers, to mention but a few, have made observable and notable impact in the industry and even beyond in the academia. The board has obviously played a pivotal role in the Triple Helix Protocol that has birthed valuable and effective collaboration between industry associations like OGTAN, the oil and gas industry, and the academia. The board's impactful footprints are very visible and attested to in the various oil-producing states of the Federation. None can claim to have been left out. NCDMB has grown Nigerian content level from less than 5% in 2010 to over 42% in 2022. And under its current 10-year strategic roadmap, the board aims to grow Nigerian content level to 70% by 2027. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board.
Yes. And to present this award, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, I make welcome President OGTAN, Mazi Sam Azoka Onyechi. Please celebrate. So move this way. Hand over the award to Mazi. Yes, sir.
The Executive Secretary, NCDMB, the fathers and founders of OGTAN, by the mandate you have given me, and by the decision of the National Executive Council of OGTAN, and the entire membership, based on the impact that has been made in human capacity development through the work of NCDMB, OGTAN, and the entire industry has reaped very fantastic rewards, because we always say that skills is a global currency, and we definitely outlast oil, gas, and every other form of technological development, because it is humans that drive those technologies. So on behalf of OGTAN, we present you this award for excellence in human capital development. Congratulations, sir.
A round of applause. You can do better than that. Well deserved, well deserved. So, Your Excellencies, I would like to have Amiable Dr. Ikuru respond on behalf of NCDMB.
I don't know why you want the imitation when the original is in the room. The one that will come after me will give you a proper response. But let me thank OGTAN. Yeah, it's always good to work with OGTAN. And I'm wondering what we could have achieved without OGTAN. We do the planning, you do the execution. The people you train are the ones helping the industry. The Executive Secretary will personally thank you for the work you do and all the plan he has for you. So thank you once again for the award, and thank you so very much.
Wow, thank you so much. The first time I heard you speak, sir, was at the training, and it was amazing. You were very soft-spoken, you were very encouraging, and the trainees said a lot about you after you talked to them. You came with Mrs. Angela Okoro, and it was an amazing session. You people came not just as agents of the NCDMB, you didn't just come as stakeholders, you didn't just come as industry leads, you came as mentors, as people that want progress for the younger generation. A round of applause for NCDMB. Celebrate, celebrate. While this was happening,
a woman of great repute walked in. An Amazon, a woman that has made impact within the limits of a press, a woman that is a mother in this realm. I want you to celebrate with me board member Nigeria Shapers Council, Mrs. Violet Williams. Celebrate. Celebrate. Yes, yes. You see the way she's greeting everybody? Mrs. Violet. She's not violent, but her name is Violet. It's good to have you, ma. God bless you real good. We move into the next award. This is something that you want to be a part of. It's part of the reasons we have been waiting. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, award for industry human capacity development icon. Of course, you know, the one that needs no introduction, the highly esteemed engineer Simbi Kesie Wa Bote. Celebrate! Celebrate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
The Executive Secretary
Please.
of the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board,
Welcome,
NCDMB.
sir. Please, this
Under
way,
his
sir.
steer in
Yes, sir.
2017, NCDMB
Please.
developed a 10-year strategic roadmap with the key objective
Yes, sir.
of
That's okay.
achieving 70% Nigerian content in the oil and gas industry, create 300,000 direct jobs, establishment of major fabrication facility in country, and establishment of manufacturing hubs in country for the manufacture of equipment, components, and accessories required by the oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors. Today, in furtherance of the 10-year strategic roadmap, the board has developed different initiatives that are catalyzing industrialization of the oil and gas industry and its linkage sectors. His astute and pragmatic leadership of Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board over the years has continued to deliver local content achievement on so many fronts, and in particular in development of human capital in the industry, which has built commendable capabilities and capacities critical to the professional participation of Nigerians in the oil and gas industry, specifically in national development in general. Engineer Wabote transformed the board and Nigerian content achievement from 26% in 2016 to 54% at the end of 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, the man with many accolades, the industry human capacity development icon, is Engineer Simbi Wabote.
Celebrate, celebrate. It is safe to say that the man standing right here is a special, phenomenal personality in the realms of oil and gas, and one with global relevance at the same time. We celebrate you, sir. One more time, celebrate him. Celebrate him. Looking very humble still. To present this award, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, I would like to make welcome representing our special guest of honor, the chairperson, NNPC board, Senator Mazuri Okadigbo, who is Dr. Mrs. Lami Ahmed, board member NNPC. Please celebrate. Celebrate. If you have your phones and your batteries are not dead, you should be doing something about this moment. It's a moment you want to capture and recapture. You want to document and share. Please, okay, we have the CEO of HSC Nations, AfriSafe Award organizer, offering the award to Lami, and you have something to say. I hold the microphone for you. I hold it with my 2 hands this time. I can join leg.
I'm supposed to be a Senator Marjorie Chuba Okadibo. So just know that she's the one standing here. Yes. It is not all the time that you have the privilege of standing beside a great man and presenting an award to a great man. This man that we want to celebrate is larger than life itself. If you are ever guilty of dreaming small, just know that it is possible to dream as big as you can dream, and you achieve even much more than your dream. That is who Engineer Simbi Wabote represents. And you never can tell where his next dream will lead him. But for whatever he touches his hands on, it's always bigger than he conceives it. So, on behalf of OGTAN, I am here to present this award to you in appreciation of the good things you are doing in the industry. And they are privileged to have you, still going to be by them because they say they are going to hold your legs, and you should not shake too much. But we know he's going to react to that, and we are all going to smile. So, join me as I celebrate this great man on behalf of OGTAN. Engineer Simbi Wabote, this award is for you.
Celebrate, people. Multiple award winner, Engineer Simbi Kesiye Wabote. So we believe that you have something to say.
The president of OGTAN, current and past presidents of OGTAN, I see my friend and lecturer with the red cap, Professor Mike Onyeko, the pioneer executive secretary of NCDMB, Dr. Engineer Ernest Chu Wakwa, the chairperson of the NMPC Limited, Senator Marjorie Okadibo, ably represented by Dr. Lami Ahmed. My friend representing the PTDF, one of the directors of PTDF, Jide Ademuleyin, industry representatives that I see here, my colleagues on the board of NCDMB, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First, let me apologize for coming late to this event, not in my culture, not in my habit, but I did inform the president that my boss, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, yesterday was having a dinner for his chieftaincy title as the Sarankin Kudu Hausa. So I had no choice but to be there. Today I had to struggle to find an available flight to take me back here to Lagos to attend this event. So I'm happy that you stayed back to see when this award is given. I really appreciate it, and I thank you very much. Talking about Ernest and the advice he gave on holding my legs, I can tell you, since my proficiency in golf started, he's been looking for various ways with which to stop me from achieving my objective of always beating him in a golf game. So please don't hold my legs, hold my hands, because I need the legs to walk 18 holes to beat Dr. Ernest Wakwa. Let me also recognize traditional Hurula here present. Not too many people have red caps on. There are only 2 of them. So when you see them, you know they've paid their dues. Even though Dr. Ernest has feather, others have red cap, and is planning to give me feather. Where I come from is shark we put on our head, not feathers, because we don't fly, we swim. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I really and truly appreciate this honor, and I can tell you that OGTAN is drastically being reformed. We've been working with OGTAN to raise the ante
to get OGTAN to where we want them to be in terms of delivering trainings and building capacity of Nigerians. The focus is not even just in the oil and gas sector. We go beyond that in terms of skills that we require beyond oil and gas, or particularly in the gas sector. So I think for the past couple of years, a lot has changed with OGTAN. We've enhanced the capacity, and industry is beginning to have confidence with regards to OGTAN. In the past, it was everybody that was a trainer. Even some of the trainers themselves, the people they train struggle to say, but just like a student who went to school to learn mathematics, very smart kid, and then the teacher came up and then did some fractions, and it didn't gel. And the boy said, no, that's not the answer. The teacher was arguing, so they brought the principal in to say, look, you need to come and see this student challenging the teacher. But luckily, the principal was also a mathematician. So when he looked at the problem, he then believed the boy, that the answer the boy gave was right. And of course, that made him to begin to think twice about the teachers. And it's the same thing in NCDMB. Recently, we did organize building the capacity of teachers, especially the ones that teach science subjects. So we took them on in Katsina, in Bayelsa, almost 2,000 or so teachers to raise their capacity in terms of the subjects that they teach the students in sciences. When we did the exam, same exam they give the students, almost half of them failed. So that tells you that there is need for training, retraining, and capacity building. So for us, we go just beyond the oil and gas sector. We look at STEM education itself, because today you have more students wanting to read arts, or wanting to be on Facebook, or wanting to be on Big Brother House, because as far as they are concerned, that gives them a lot more money than sciences. So we are heavily supporting the science sector in order to train teachers, also enhancing their capacity with our ICT objective. Today, we have almost about 250 ICT centers we have established around schools around the country in order to enhance the ICT capacity of our students, because we believe that's very important. And we see OGTAN playing an active role in terms of the long-term sustainability of those IT centers. In most of the schools, when we establish those IT centers, most of them are under lock and key. It's only when they want to teach ICT subjects that they open those places for them to gain access to learn for a day, and they lock it up for another 3 months. So this is where OGTAN will come in. In some of those areas we have established ICT center. OGTAN can take them, train the students, as well as bring in external people who want to enhance their capacity in ICT. You can run various programs within that place. One example was the ICT center we established in one remote community in Adamawa. The stakeholder with which I don't want to mention name, that we established the ICT center for within the secondary school he went to, came back. The state government saw an opportunity. 2 young men decided to relocate themselves to that community, and then decided to use that ICT center to train a lot of people beyond the students. People were paying money to get trained in various, whether it is coding, whether it is programming, and the rest of these 2 young men, graduates, who were not busy, decided to take advantage of it. So I will employ OGTAN to liaise with the capacity building department, look for those ICT centers. They are everywhere in the country, established. Some of them are just locked up. One in my own community, I can tell you the story, the success story of it. I called, because we run a foundation of engineers within the community. The ICT center that we built, I called the engineers And I said, this is an opportunity for you to train the young ones as well as make money out of this ICT center. As I speak, they are running programs within that ICT center for the secondary school as well as external parties coming for them to build their capacity. So it is a huge opportunity that I see for OGTAN. In terms of, I scanned through your speech, and I think it was only one ask, which of course will not touch my leg, it's just my hand, so that you can free my leg to follow up with Ernest. It's about your presence within our NCTAR. Be rest assured that it will be given adequate consideration, and you will hear from us as soon as possible, because when I scanned through it, that was the only ask that I saw. But I have given you more ask and more opportunity that you should explore, particularly these ICT centers. There are so many. In Bayelsa alone, we have about 8 or 9 or so ICT center. Even in Imo State, we have ICT center. In Katsina, we have ICT center. In Adamawa, we have ICT center. It's all spread across the country. I can tell you that some of them, they just lock them after training the students. So please come to us. Come with a proposal to say, I want to utilize this ICT center to build capacity of the students as well as invite others to take it. In Lagos here, we have about 8 or so that we did build within secondary schools that we established those ICT center. I am sure if you create a win-win situation with the schools, they will give you those centers to utilize. We did the same with the foremost technical college in Abak in Akwa Ibom State. We went in there, overhauled their vocational training center, the skills center, within the institution. And then we created an SPV between a private sector individual and the school. Today, if Dr. Ikuru can project, you will see the furniture they are making out of that vocational center, which of course the proceeds is divided between the school and the private sector person who is running that facility in Abak. It's a sight to behold in terms of what was done there. So that's a kind of push. So it's an opportunity for OGTAN. Come to us. We give you the geolocation of all those ICT centers. You can do your investigation. The ones that are not being utilized properly, take advantage of it, and of course, see what you can do with it. Because you will invite external people to enhance their capacity in ICT, because that's the way to go these days. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I know the day is fast spent. If you allow me, I will keep you here for another 30, 40 minutes, which of course is not the desire. But let me say, I sincerely appreciate this award, being given an award for building capacity of Nigerians, not just in the oil and gas sector, but beyond the oil and gas sector. Because that for me is the only legacy that I think we will leave behind as a people, to build the capacity of those who are coming after us, so that all the knowledge that we have and have acquired, we must ensure that we impact it on the generation that is born and those that are yet unborn. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the president of OGTAN, my dear colleagues from PTDF, and also the Pioneer Executive Secretary of NCDMB, captains of industry, industry representatives, I thank you very much for this award, and I look forward to serving you in bigger and greater capacity if given the opportunity to do so. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please a round of applause one more time for Engineer Simbi Kesia Wabote. He said you should not hold his leg. He needs it to do something to his friend. He said just hold the hand. And I'm so happy. Congratulations to OGTAN. Your ask is under positive consideration. Thank you very much, sir.
Without much ado, we have to move further into the next session, which is obviously the vote of thanks. And now to handle the vote of thanks, I'd like to make welcome the coordinator of Abuja Zone Octan. I'm talking about no other person but Chris Osarunwese. Please celebrate himself. Celebrate.
Thank you very much. The Executive Secretary, NCDMB, the President of Octan, the representative of the Chairman NMPC Board, pioneers, Chairman of Octan, Captains of Industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My job this evening is, or this afternoon, is fairly simple. Is to say thank you. I'd like to say a very special thank you to the organizing committee headed by the Vice President of Octan, who have put in enormous amount of time to organize this event. We know the dedication that has come in. We know how much effort that it has taken to organize this event within a period of approximately 2 to 3 weeks. So please, let's give the organizing committee a round of applause. We would like to thank all those who have left, who have created time, liberated time to be here. Captains, representatives of the IOCs, representatives of the IPPG group, chief executives of service providers, chief executives of training and development service providers, special guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen who have joined us today to witness this award, where we have celebrated men and women who have contributed to capacity building in the oil and gas industry. We thank you very much for your presence. We want to thank the event organizer who has put all of this together. The President and I were here at about 10 p.m. yesterday night. And if you saw what was here at 10 p.m. yesterday night, you know a lot of transformation has happened. So we want to thank Femi and his team for the good work you have done in helping to transform this place. It was marvelous. It's been a marvelous piece of work. The caterers that have helped put the food we've eaten this afternoon together, we say a big thank you. The media people, the MC, we thank you for the good work you have done this afternoon. So on that note, I once again want to thank all those that have contributed one way or the other to the success of this event. And this is perhaps the first formal OGTAN National Award. We're looking forward to the next one, which hopefully will be in not so distant future. And we hope that when we invite you, you will again respond and join us for another national award. So once again, thank you very much for your presence, and we wish you a safe journey back to your various places of abode. Thank you.
I think I feel elated to be recognized. I think if you know me, I am not gifted to accepting every award that comes my way. There are catalogs of them requesting for an award, but I turn a lot of them down. It must be genuine, it must be selfless, it must also make sense to me as it relates to what I do. So I'm really very happy to have been recognized for contributing in building the capacity of the younger generation. I think that, in my view, is one of the key legacies we will leave behind. And most of these awards, if you look at them, they very much taper down the strategic roadmap, because I've said it before, any organization that does not know where it is today, where it wants to be in 10 years' time, is not an organization that really wants to make progress. We did set out our strategic roadmap. We gave ourselves milestones on where we want to be in 10 years' time, and we follow that process conscientiously. That's where we are making gradual progress because of the vision, the direction, and what we want to achieve. So I'm very happy that we are getting there gradually, and hoping that in 2027, I guess by then I would have served out my tenure long before then. People coming after me will then build on that opportunity. And I think, like you know, Only recently, we got an approval from the President for the construction of the Oloibiri Museum and Research Center. That is a project that has been in the works for the 36 years. So many foundations laid, but no progress. But this time around, our President, who is the Minister of Petroleum and the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, doggedly believe that this must not elude us, and hence we've been given the opportunity to go ahead with that historical landmark project. So we thank the President, we thank the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources and all our partners, particularly PTDF, Shell, and of course the Bayelsa State Government for the cooperation to get that project going. That will be another major milestone in terms of things we have done in NCDMB. Thank you very much. Thank you.